It's time for Shawn and Maya in the morning.
Quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it, he's out of it at 25 to the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Chicago has won the Stanley Cup. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, throw to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. And man, I am fired up. We have a great show for you today. Thanks for tuning in. Now, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, and if you're not, make sure you download and you subscribe to our YouTube channel. But if you're watching this on YouTube, then I guess you found us on YouTube. Now, if you're watching this on our app, I guess you found us on the app. Now, listen, listen, we're asking you a lot of you. It's really not a lot. Who am I lying? Who am I bull jiving? Make sure you follow us on Shawn and Maya in the morning, on SportsZone Chicago on Facebook. Okay. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you download the app. Simple. Not very difficult. Just do that for us. We'd appreciate it. And we can go on with our day. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at SM_mornings, or you can tweet us at SportsZone Shy. That's CHI, at SportsZone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. Want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made a nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the Snapple. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you do it just for the gram, then follow her at Maya Akai, Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. I would be remiss if I did not bring him out. He is the whiz, the man behind the curtain, the guy who makes it all run. He's my Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife. Bring him out. Ivan Vargas. Ivan, what's up, Papa?
Good morning, Shawn. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Not much. I like the polo. Why don't I have a polo?
Oh, this is an older one.
I don't get a polo?
It's an older one. This was from 2 years ago.
I like it. It looks sharp.
We're gonna get more made. I don't know if we'll probably get some Shawn and Maya ones, but we'll also have some SportsZone Chicago ones made.
Sounds good. I want a hoodie. I want a SportsZone Chicago hoodie.
A hoodie?
With your and Maya's face on the hood on each side.
That's good stuff, dude. That's good stuff. I know a guy who can make it happen. Don't trip. Hey, listen, I got a great show for you. Listen, my man, he's in the green room already. You know who he is. He's Joseph Phillips. He's with the Chicago Crusader. He's going to be out here in a moment. 10 o'clock, Kenneth Davis joins us. He's going to take the baton from Joseph from the 10 to 11 o'clock hour. And at 10:30, we're going to welcome John Dietz. John Dietz, we're going to talk. There's a lot to talk about concerning the Blackhawks. Blackhawks released a statement yesterday using the R word. I don't know how Hawks fans feel about it. From the temperature gauging that I was doing yesterday, some are okay with it, some are not okay with it. With what's called now the rebuild. So we're going to talk to John Dietz about that at 10:30. Well, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning to you, and these are the hot topics of the night before, just of sports in general. And boy, oh boy, do we have some doozies. And the Top of the Morning segment is powered by the Chicago Crusader. And with that, I want to bring in their guy. He is a sports editor over there. He is a good friend of the program. He looks like the heat's out at his crib. He looks all hot. No, he looks all cold with a big old puffy jacket. Well, let's bring him out.
Does he got a window open?
You can find him on Twitter at ACA Joe. Man, let's bring out our man, our guy who's frozen. Looks like he's frozen. Joseph Phillips. Joseph, what's up, Papa?
What's up, Papa? God bless.
Yeah.
This is a vest. Rocking a vest. That's a vest.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's why it looks like that. It's a style. It's a vest. It's a nice little vest.
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't pay the gas bill or something. You know what I mean? I was like,
I finally got the fresh cut, man.
I see. Look at you.
I got it fresh cut. Now, first visit to the barber shop. Post COVID-19 or pre COVID-19?
Since pre-COVID. Wow, that's a long time, dude.
Yeah, I've been cutting my own hair, bro. Straight bald.
So is that a North Face vest or is this a North Face?
No, man, this is straight fresh off Target shop.
No, see, Vernon's like he got on a North Face vest. I know you got the North Face shirt on underneath.
Tell Vernon I got on straight off Target, man. Bargain basement.
Ain't nothing wrong with that,
I'm
man.
wearing it from New York though. I will be rocking this in New York though.
Okay.
Get ready.
You got your Timbs ready for New York too, and you got your New York lingo. Nah, son. Nah,
right,
kid. Nah.
That's right, Donnie. We can't do this,
Donnie. How you doing? So everything's good, Papa?
Oh yeah, everything's good, man. Everything's good. It's a lot of good news going on throughout the week, and man, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I hear you.
Joseph, whatever you do, don't come back with a New York Yankees hat, all right?
Man.
Don't come back with a Yankees hat and Tim's on. We got to leave that at LaGuardia, all right?
Ivan, I'm going to share a little secret with you, okay? I said after the Cubs win the World Series, my dream was to move to New York City, become a Yankees fan, okay? Yeah. I was watching, and this is just a secret. That's not going to happen. It's just a fantasy. I was watching a New York Yankees documentary last night on the house that Steinbrenner built. Yeah, so I was watching a little of that last night. It was so amazing on how they won those 27 championships and did that last championship for the boss. I was like, man, their whole their parade was nice. It was really cool, man. I was like, I wonder what it's like to celebrate a championship in New York City.
Really?
But I'm a Cubs fan, and but shout out to the Yankees, though. I still love them.
I didn't know this about you. It makes you even more suspect now.
Yeah.
It changes things, Joseph.
It changes a lot.
Look at their faces. They like, wait up, man. We don't know you. No, I'm a Cubs fan, die hard, man. You ain't got to worry about me switching over to the Yanks, man.
I'm waiting for you to start singing your Jenny from the Block.
No. You lived in New York for 2 years, man.
I did.
What did you do in those 2 years? Did you ever go to a Yankees game?
Yeah, of course I did. I went to all the sports games. I didn't go to an Islanders game. That was the only team I didn't go to.
See, I just want to experience that. Like I would like to, because Yankees are like the standard, and I want my Cubs to reach that standard too.
Vernon got jokes. He said, "Where's your A-Rod jersey, bro?"
No, A-Rod. No P-Rod. No P-Rod.
What's wrong with A-Rod?
That's P-Rod, man. No P-Rod, baby.
Why? Because you been chasing the big money?
Maybe Jeter. I could do Jeter, as they say on New York. Jeter, they love Jeter.
Oh, dude, Jeter can do no wrong. He can do no wrong in New York, dude. I'm telling you, he is a king. He could run for mayor and be mayor if he wasn't running the Marlins and do a deep playoff run. That's for sure.
That's right. But low key, I always support the Yankees. But they're not even really a baseball team. They're like above baseball. 27 world champions. Nobody's ever accomplished that ever.
Look. Let's get one thing straight. Okay, I'm gonna have to set you straight, like I had to set my friends in Massachusetts straight. Okay? All right, let's get this. Let's get this out in the open. Okay, when you guys won, when they won, and I'm not taking anything away from the amount of championships that you have, and nor the Boston Celtics have. Okay, it's an unbelievable feat. Let's just keep in mind.
Right.
That they're like 6 teams, 8 teams. Okay, there was no free agency.
No Negro leagues either. No integration in baseball either.
But for the most part, yes. Okay, so you didn't have free agency. You didn't have guys who. It was a different time. So when you had the best team, or you stacked up, it pretty much stayed that way for the most part. So it's very different to now. So just remember that, and because
they can brag about it. But my whole thing, I'm a Cubs fan, diehard Cubs fan. But at the end of the day, the Yankees are the standard.
So what happens if the Cubs would have faced the Yankees?
Oh,
if the Cubs
all the way, man. Cubs all the way. Like I said, New York want to be like Chicago a lot because of what Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan is the standard for all sports. The Yankees is the standard for all sports teams. So when it comes to standards, like I believe the Yankees are the standards for all sports teams. When it comes to the greatest player of all time in any sports, I look at Michael Jordan as the standard for all sports. So, but he was born in Brooklyn, New York. So it's kind of, it's like New York produced a lot of great players.
Hold on. Michael he was born in Brooklyn, New York, but he didn't grow up in Brooklyn. That's like saying that's like Chicago claiming Ludacris.
No, look, trust me. I had these conversations before. At the end of the day, New York always have a special place in my heart, but Chicago is my first love, and it'll always be my love.
Ivan, I'm surprised, and I'm impressed that you knew Ludacris is from Chicago.
Oh, come on, man.
I didn't even know that. I even low key. I didn't even know that, bro.
Yeah,
I know a little about everything.
Oh, you know your stuff, bro.
He actually went to Oak Park River Forest High School. A buddy of mine. Yeah. A good buddy of mine went to school with him.
That's why he's speaking complete sentences. It makes sense.
Yeah, I knew this about.
Yeah, I tell people I'm a little formal language, a little broken English. I'm a Southside kid, so love me or hate me, I still love you.
Vernon said he's from Champaign, so he ain't even from Chicago.
Well, he was from Champaign. He may have been born in Champaign, but I know he spent a lot of time here in Chicago because my boy went to high school with him. And Chris Bridges, for all of you who don't know, Hip Hop 101, his name is Chris Bridges, and so his
got his history going now. See, y'all be trying to hold out on me, bro.
What you talking
about? Y'all be knowing all this stuff, bro.
Joe, what are you talking about? I grew up in the golden age of hip hop, dude. Yeah, I know.
You from New York, man. You stop playing.
I was there for 2 years.
I know. Dude, he trying to hide like like New York. Well, you was out getting it down. You would get down out there. I know you was.
Joe, let me tell you, the stories I have from New York are insane. Insane. So first of all, I worked on Wall Street. So I was a bond broker. I worked at the World Trade Center. All right.
Wow.
So if you ever saw Wolf of Wall Street,
oh yeah, I see that. Yeah,
that's how New York is.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's how it can be.
Right.
Okay. I partied with a couple of multi-millionaires. It's a different lifestyle, bro. It's just a different life. It's a different guy, dude. Guys would come to work with two, three stacks in their pocket just because they could. Because they could.
You know why I love New York? Because it's like the melting pot of the world. The diversity, how everybody live together. Even though they may have their segregation and racism, but you're forced to live together on the Big Apple. And that's what I like about it.
The main thing that I love about New York more so than Chicago, and don't get me wrong, because I'm a diehard Shy, is everybody about their money.
Yeah,
everybody's about their money.
Yeah.
All right, over here you got petty stuff. You got they're a lot more racist. They're a little more segregated. They worry about dimes and nickels and dimes.
Right.
And the core. Dude, people in New York are about that money.
That's
they're
right.
about money for real.
That's how Trump said it's small peanuts. Like he told him, like small peanuts to the USFL.
Yeah. So yeah, I do. Yeah, I love. New York was great, but I always knew I was going to come home. It was just a matter of when. So. But yeah, it was a great experience, and I love the fast life. I lived a multi-million-dollar lifestyle, making nowhere near multi-millions of dollars, dude.
It's all about those resources, bro. It's all about those resources and networks, man.
Dude, so I'll tell you when I had some guys in the office, I have to tell you my bonus story. the first time I got my first bonus. I started in August. And so by the time December came, my bonus was small, like $3,000, $4,000, something like that. And I mean, I'm telling you, guys came to work with $3,000, $4,000, usually $2,000 to $3,000 in their pocket on a daily basis. One guy always carried at least $2,500. And he said because he always wanted to know he had money because he grew up poor, and so he always came. He made it work $2,500 a minimum, $2,500 a day. He came to work with just because he wanted to know he'd never be broke again. So it's crazy.
That's why I want to go. That's why I want to work there. I want to go there because that's where all the money is. That's where the financial capital of the world is, the media capital of the world is,
Yeah,
marketing capital of the world. It's right there,
Yeah, it is. Well, we'll have to. I'll tell you, I got so many crazy stories. Last thing before we get really to sports, I'm going to tell you about the story where I was at a party with Puffy, Run DMC, LL, Heavy D. Who else was there? Rosie Perez. I got to meet. Oh, so this is the story. Let me tell you. You're gonna love this, and I'll have to tell this. I may have told this on the air before, but I'm gonna have to tell you when we hang out the time I spit on Rosie Perez.
Oh no! Did you say no, Mookie? No,
dude. That is a crazy, crazy, crazy story, man. So it was. I mean, you talk about hanging out with all these people from the rap industry. It's crazy. Crazy. So I got to tell you that story, and then I got other stories from the car service girls to the gentlemen's clubs to the steakhouses.
I can hear those stories.
Dude, New York was insane, dude. New York was my trips to the Hamptons. It was insane, dude. It was insane. Wow. Insane. Yeah, it was good stuff. But but that's the time for when we get together and kick it. Well, let's get right to it, man. The first topic, man, there's nothing bigger. The Los Angeles Dodgers. The Los Angeles Dodgers take game 1 of the World Series. There's my girl. She's like, Shawn?
Mookie.
That was good stuff, Ivan. Hey, Vernon, you're right. Ivan is a trip. The Dodgers take game 1 of the World Series yesterday. And let me tell you something. First of all, they smacked the hell out of them 8-3. But secondly, Clayton Kershaw. Well, I told you. I said he's going to, and I said this yesterday or Monday. I was like, he's going to have a series. I'm like, because so he lost. They're in 3 World Series. This is their 3rd in 4 years. They lost the first one, okay, but they lost to the Astros, and he got shelled. And you're like, twice he lost 2 games. His psyche is kind of like that of Yu Darvish. Once they came out, the Astros came out, or it came out that the Astros were cheating. It brought some confidence back into these pitchers. Like, oh man, I didn't suck on the world's biggest stage. I was cheated.
Right.
So I'm like, trust me, watch for Clayton Kershaw. He might come out and have a gem. And sure enough, he definitely went to work yesterday. Clayton Kershaw, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run that was earned, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. And are you sitting down on 78 pitches? On 78 pitches in 6 innings.
That's nasty. All I gotta say, this man didn't even throw 80 pitches, bro.
It's 13 pitches an inning.
Bro. That means he was willing and dealing, bro.
And on his 78 pitches, 53 were strikes, and 18. He had 18 swings and misses. Dude, he was in his zone. Oh man, he's in his zone and he's killing it.
That sounds like me on MLB The Show on Rookie, bro. I've been killing it, bro.
I think it took notes from you or something. But Clayton Kershaw was dealing yesterday, and it was a game. And we're gonna, man. I first of all, I was happy for him.
Right.
I've been a big Clayton Kershaw fan for a long time now, and to see him struggle in the World Series, the last couple, the previous 2 times, really really sucked for me because I like Clayton Kershaw, and I really do. And it was good to see him wheeling and dealing. Cody Bellinger got the scoring started with a bomb, a blast, dude. Cody Bellinger.
He might be a Shaggy off Scooby Doo a little bit. Right?
That's a great comparison. Yeah, that
He
is
a Little League World Series guy too.
Oh yeah. That's right. And then, dude, what is he? The 800 million man or whatever he is. Mookie Betts yesterday 2 for 4. Mookie. Speaking of Rosie Perez and Mookie. So for those of you who don't get that, you're way too young. Mookie Betts went 2 for 4, a home run, and not 1 but 2 stolen bases. He is the first guy I want to say with a home run and a stolen base. Yes, let me confirm that. I'm sorry. He's the second player with a walk and 2 steals in an inning since 1921. Some guy named Babe Ruth.
Wow.
And he's the first player with 2 steals, a homer, and 2 runs scored in a single World Series game. So Mookie Betts is making history yesterday.
Mookie, he's earning his money, baby. He's earning his money. And you see, the thing about Mookie is, even though he was a part of that cheating scandal, I guess with the Boston Red Sox, like he's proven that I don't need to cheat, Just don't make a mistake and throw the ball down the middle. And then he's always been a good player overall. Individually, he always stood out. And like I said, what you said with Kershaw, he's overcome a lot of his psychological issues where he thought he was actually bad in the playoffs, but the truth was, they were cheating. So at the end of the day, Dodger Blue, they represent. They ain't the Brooklyn Dodgers, but they're the LA Dodgers, and they represent, man.
Yeah. So it was good to see. I said I I think I want the Dodgers to win. A lot of people want Tampa Bay, and that's cool. Tampa Bay's got a great story. They got a whole bunch of nobodies, the guys who've come together and done this thing. But I just like the Dodgers. I've always been a Dodger fan. They're one. Maybe they're my second favorite team. I don't know, but I love them. Back in the day, I'm talking Steve Garvey, Sachs. Fernando Valenzuela. Okay, come on, like we're talking. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking some old school. Some old school Dodgers.
That's how I feel about the Yankees, bro. Like I feel the same way how you felt about the Dodgers, the same way, low key. So do your thing, brother.
Yeah. So I've always liked them, and then the Vin Scully, the voice of the Dodgers. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like he was like there was a few. It was Vin Scully, obviously Harry Carey.
Do you remember the Kirk Gibson call?
Yeah, I remember the Kirk Gibson call.
Man. I took my buddy Brian Snow. He knows how to do it really well. I tell him
I can't believe what I just saw.
Oh, beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. So the Dodgers are always cool. And you know what? I have a cousin who lives in LA. My Uncle John, who passed away in 2017, was a huge Cub fan. But he was a Dodger fan. He moved to LA in 1969. Right after they got out of the service. Well, he lived in Chicago for a couple years, and then when he got out of the service, they moved to L.A. And so his son is a big Cubs fan and Dodger fan, and so he'd always be talking about Dodger games and my cousin Stefan, and he would talk about how the organist would like play The Cure, and he would just talk about he loved Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine, he loved it, and so this kind of turned me on. I liked
Was he a part of the Fernando Mania thing during the 80s?
Oh, he was, dude. He's a big. What he does now is he buys and sells autographs. Wow. So he'll get pictures of actors, of athletes. So he'll get the picture taken of him having a picture signed, and then he sells the stuff on eBay and certificate of authenticity because he has a picture of him, of the actual star. Signing the whatever he has up for auction. So he's doing well with that dude. People
big ups to him, brother.
Yeah. My cousin Stefan. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we're gonna see. So game 2 is tonight. So we're looking forward to I wonder if the Dodgers, is it a sweep? I don't know. I don't know if it's a sweep. I don't think it's a sweep. I think the Rays are just too good. But we'll see. It's game 2 is tonight. Snell's on the mound for the Rays, and I'm not sure who's on the mound for the Dodgers, but it's going to be this is back to normal, Joseph. This is a sense of normalcy for us. You know, with even though baseball was only 60 games, you can put that in the rearview mirror. That's water under the bridge because we had the playoffs. The playoffs were exciting. We had a team come back from 3-1 to win a series. Okay, we had it was this is playoff baseball. This is the time that it's supposed to be happening, and I'm loving it. You know, it really takes us away from what's going on in the world, and the excitement, the pageantry of it. I love it. I love it.
I love it too. Pedro versus Popeye. No. Oh, Popeye. That's our guy.
Yeah.
He's tough as nails.
Old school. Yeah. That's for sure. Well, listen, let's move. Let's keep it moving, baby. The next top of the morning topic. The Bears. How about them Bears, baby? The Bears signed inside linebacker Manti Te'o to the practice squad, and insert girlfriend jokes here.
Here we go.
I'll leave it alone because I posted my joke yesterday on Facebook. So, but my question is this: will he help?
Hey, I think Danny Trevathan needs a rotation guy. Like, I really do. I don't know if Manti Te'o can help in that area, but I think he can help out Danny Trevathan a little bit. Even though Danny Trevathan had a big game last week, this past Sunday, you know, I think we can add a little depth to that area, and I think he can contribute.
I hope so. He was more of a plugger. He was more of a guy. He wasn't a speed guy. Don't get me wrong. The dude was a stud.
Right.
You know, he played for Puna High School down in Honolulu. Excuse me. Then he played at the University of Notre Dame for the Fighting Irish. He was drafted in the second round by the San Diego Chargers. He played 6 seasons for them.
Yeah.
Then he signed with the New Orleans Saints in 17. So 17-18, he was signed with the Saints. So yet another New Orleans Saints person coming home or coming to the Bears. Thank you, Ryan Pace. So again, I'm going to leave his. All right. Well, let's just talk about it. When he was in high school, when he was at Notre Dame, he was a victim of a catfishing scam, where a person who claimed to be a woman began an online relationship with him, and then claimed that she died. So he was all sad about his girlfriend who had passed away, and you know, so he became the butt of a lot of jokes, and I was one of those guys making the jokes, but you know, it's kind of
catfish.
Hey, it's fine as long as he can play. You know, as long as he can play coverage for Danny, and if he does have a fake girlfriend, or if he has a real girlfriend, can she play left tackle?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm just asking.
Right. And plus, one thing I noticed about his highlights, because I did check out his highlights. He knows how to drop back in coverage. He can actually play. You know, he can actually run with the receivers and the tight end. I saw him pick off. I think it was either Tom Brady or I think it was Aaron Rodgers, one of those guys. I think he was playing with San Diego at the time.
Okay.
He made a great play in coverage. He dropped back in coverage, picked the ball off in the end zone, you know, and he had a high vertical leap. I was like, okay, he looked like a corner over there, you know, the way he played in that scheme. So I don't know what his athletic skills look like now. Like you said, the last time you saw him was 2018. So hopefully, you know, he can contribute to the defense as we're currently on a rise in the NFC.
Yeah, I hope he can. We're thin at that position anyway, and to get a guy who was second in the Heisman voting, a guy who his professional career never really reached the heights of his collegiate career, and that's unfortunate. But that happens all the time. That happens all the time in the NFL. You have guys who are studs in college who just don't don't live up to that same billing. And then you have guys who are no names or guys who had average or pedestrian careers in college, and they go on to be superstars. So it really is just a luck of the draw and how his skill set fits in, or what system he plays in. And some of it is just the system you play in. Right. You know, if you play in a system that suits your talents, and your offensive or defensive coordinator only asks you to do what your strengths are, then you have a better chance of succeeding. But if you're in a system that doesn't fit your skill set, or if you have a coordinator that doesn't play to your skill set, it's going to be, it's unfortunate. So, you're not going to be very, very good. You may make a few plays because of talent alone, but it's not going to get you to the upper echelon of talent in the National Football League, because everybody's talented. Most people are, just about all people are fast. So you got to do something else to separate yourself. So hopefully, the Bears use him when he does get on the active roster. That the Bears use him in a way that suits his skill set perfectly.
I hope they don't put him on special teams either, because the Bears are good for doing stuff like that. Always putting guys in positions where they don't belong. Even though he'll probably contribute well on special teams, but I think we can use him in rotation with Danny Trevathan, especially since his speed has declined and since his arm injury.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, we got to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we have more top of the morning topics. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. Game 1 of the World Series went to the Dodgers, 8-3 the final over Tampa last night, leading 2-0 heading into the 5th. Tampa cut the lead in half with a solo homer. That came off the bat of center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. From there, though, the Dodgers broke it open with a 4-run bottom half of the 5th. Clayton Kershaw went 6 full, striking out 8, 1 run on 2 hits. Meanwhile, Tyler Glasnow gave up 6 runs on 3 hits over 4 1/3. He also struck out 8. Game 2 is tonight. First pitch just after 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Blake Snell starts for Tampa. Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. There were a limited number of fans in attendance last night at Globe Life Ballpark in Arlington, Texas. The smallest World Series crowd in over a century. The announced attendance, 11,388. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5560 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5560. Enjoy.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. And I'm with my guy. What the heck's all that about? I'm with my guy, Joseph Phillips. He's a sports editor from the Chicago Crusader, sitting in here with me as he does every day here on the top of the morning segment. So moving on, about the next top of the morning segment, the Blackhawks make it official. Es oficial. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation about what was happening with the Blackhawks, and with the departure of 2 of their cornerstones, or one cornerstone, one major piece. Corey Crawford was not re-signed, and the trading away of Brandon Saad. it was apparent and it was evident that the Hawks were in a rebuild mode. No one said it. Fans knew it. Players, I don't know what they thought, but it was official. The other day, Stan Bowman came out and the Blackhawks released a statement and just saying, and I will just read part of it. It said, we recently said goodbye to a pair of popular two-time champions and acquired some new players via trade and free agency. We understand it was tough to see those respected veterans go and realize you may have some question about our direction. We'd like to address that direction and share why we're hopeful for the future of Blackhawks hockey. We're committed to developing young players and rebuilding our roster. Wow.
You called it, man. You called it. You called it, brother.
Just to cover every point, Sam Bowman did have a conference call with the core and a couple other people probably, and they discussed it. I guess what I read was that there was a misunderstanding with the verbiage. I guess the word rebuild gets everybody all nervous, and the players like Taze, he had a comment. He was not happy about it, and then I guess they had this meeting, and it was I guess some of the quotes were
Taze was not happy.
Yeah, some of the quotes for after the meeting was a very good discussion, and that it's not necessarily that they're rebuilding, but they're going towards youth around this team. They're not going to go after anybody else, but that's how I saw it. It's like they're going to go. Everybody going around these guys is going to be young, and they're building for after them. Is what I'm saying. But what I felt from it is that they're still going to try to contend.
It's a rebuild, dude. You're not going to contend. And this is don't look me in the eye, piss on my shoes, and tell me it's raining. Okay, don't do that because you're telling these guys. So Bowman, you're telling me I'm not you, Ivan, of course. But I'm saying, so you expect me to believe that you're going to go? You're going to contend with a new goalie? You're going to contend with a Swiss cheese defenseman? I know you got some defensemen back, but you're going with an unproven goalie. Okay, no, you deal that. Just don't think. Please don't assume that we're that stupid. Okay, you don't intend to make a deep playoff run with a brand new goalie. Now, this is a goalie that we had, and it'd been an understudy for Corey Crawford for a year or 2 or 3 seasons, and then it was his time to step up. Then I could go with that. But if you have no goalie whatsoever, you let the goalie go who actually was going to take a hometown discount. Was going to take a hometown discount to stay with the squad, and you said no. Okay. Now, if you did it because you were concerned about his health, fine. But if you did it because you're concerned and you wanted to move on and move past him, well, what do you have in the coffers? What's there waiting? Delia? No, hell no. So it's bothersome, and this is another reason why Bowman's got to go. He's the guy who got he met with the core, okay, and those 4 guys, and all 4 we're talking Taze, Kane, Seabrook, and Duncan Keith. That's the core. And all those guys have no move contracts. So it's the reason they're in this salary cap dilemma because of the no move contracts given to Seabrook and Keith. I mean, those guys, Seabrook especially, but still, I'm so sick of Bowman. This is ridiculous. You're not retooling. Okay, this is a rebuild. You don't rebuild without a goalie.
Yeah, you called this a few months ago. It was like, hey, it looked like this guy is slowly trying to rebuild, but he's not announcing. He's not actually announcing it. And he kind of like low-key did some misdirection, like, oh, I'm going to add a few defenders here. Maybe we can add to this lineup. But bottom line is, I don't know if the Hawks are like being cheap. I don't know. I don't know if it's a budget concern. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I guess we're seeing the end of competitive hockey in Chicago. I don't know when the next time they will ever compete again. So right now, like you said, they're moving toward a youth movement. I guess the core 4. I don't know if they're going to eventually trade Kane or one of Kane or Taves and get back a haul of good players. I don't know. But it just looks like it's going in that direction. And hopefully we can compete again in the next 5 years. Hopefully.
Yeah, and that's a good point because my thought was, who do you trade? First of all, you go up to those guys, and John Dietz is coming on, and he's coming on at 10:30, and he's going to talk to his article. He wrote a couple articles. One came out today. I didn't get a chance to read it, but one I read was with him and Chris Versteeg. And, Steger is still very good friends, obviously, with the guys still on the team. And some of the things that he said may surprise you. So I definitely make sure you want to check it out. Make sure you read John Dietz's article in the Daily Herald, and we're going to have John Dietz on at 10:30. And we're definitely going to talk about it. So you need to go up to those guys, because if there comes a point where you start losing, then you need to go up to Taze, you need to go up to Kane and say, okay, do you want to go? Is there, give us a list, or maybe he even did that. I don't know. Just said, hey, you know what? If the ish hits the fan, all right, give me a list of 5 or 6 teams that you'd want to go to, and we'll start exploring a trade. At that point, that would be the respectful thing to do.
Right.
Because if you trade Taze, you'll get a lot back. If you trade Kane, you're going to get a haul. They're going to have to back up a truck. You're going to get some of the top prospects of an organization if you trade Kane, and if you are rebuilding, okay, which we know you are, then that's the guy you're going to have to trade, and that was going to suck. Seeing Patrick Kane in another jersey.
Wow, that's really scary to think about. And you did mention this, Shawn, like I said earlier this season, that he should have mentioned this to the guys as soon as the season ended. Like, hey, look, I want to call you guys in the office. I'm thinking about rebuilding this joker, but he waited. He made moves. And then he told them after the fact, like, come on, man, you can't do that. Now there's some distrust in the front office. There's already was distrust there in the beginning, but now there's really distrust in the front office, because most of these core 4 guys, we started off with, Corey Crawford, he's gone. And then, who's next on the list? I know they're looking at themselves like, I may be playing in another city next year.
Mm-hmm. So it's a sad day for Blackhawks fans. It really, really, really is. And it is. So we got Jamar Harp. He's the host of Sports 101. He had a show on here on SportsZone Chicago that they keep Subban. Yeah, I think they do. I definitely don't think he's the answer, but I do think they keep him unless they can go until they go get a high price or a free agent goalie, maybe someone who will be a number 1, basically a stopgap. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
if you're gonna blow it up the right way, man. Like, get a haul back. I'll start with Kane, even though I know Kane was a franchise player, but he did have problems in the beginning of his career as far as behavior problems. So this is the opportunity. He's been pretty quiet over the past 5 years, staying out of the spotlight. Now's the time to make a move. And if you're gonna rebuild, do it the right way, and keep the captain around. Captain serious.
I could see keeping the captain around. I think he would be a big help for the younger players, at least for one more season. And then if you wanted to trade him, actually I have to see when his contract is up. I don't know if this is the end of his contract or not, but yeah, I'd say I could understand keeping him around. He's extreme, keep these guys in line and make sure that he teaches them how to be professional. I think that would be really, really important for the youngsters. Here we go. I think it'd be really important for the youngsters, because you're getting kids that are 17, 18 years old. They'll be 19 and 20 or so by now, but you still don't know how to be a pro. And they're fortunate they got into the playoffs. They got to the second round. So they have some experience, but watching the captain go about his day and it is a way that you definitely learn how to become a pro. So the captain is signed through the 22-23 season. Okay. So if you keep him this year, he's owed $2 million, $5 million incentives. So he's owed $7 million this year, just about $7 million next year, just about $7 million the following season. So 1 year, 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, you keep him, let him go in the last year. Or if you want to make it real enticing and ask for more, you let him stay 1 year here, so he has 2 years left in his contract, and you trade him with 2 seasons left on his contract. So he'll be under, and that's a big hit. But if you're a team that's looking that's got a little flexibility and you're looking for one guy to help you maybe get over the top, that could be the captain, my captain.
Who farm system you would like to dig into if we do trade for Kane? Who right now in the NHL, what farm system would you tap into as far as just the top prospects?
That's a good question. That's one I can't answer. I'll have to talk to John Dietz, and I'll pose that question for him when he comes on at 10:30. I will pose that question for him because that's a great question. Who would you go? But also would depend on where those guys wanted to go. You know, I think at this point when they won you, Keith, Taze, and Kane all have won 3 cups. So I think out of respect, I think it's worth, they should say, hey, where do you want, like I said, give me a list of 4 or 5 teams that you want to go to. And then from there, I say you start with the team who has the best farm system. Okay. And you start negotiating with them. If not, then go to the next one. If not, then go to the next one. But is there even going to be minor league hockey this year?
Right.
That's the question. That got canceled along with minor league baseball. So it could be a good thing because if minor league hockey doesn't start, if they don't have it again this year, you're going to have a lot of guys going overseas.
Right.
When you go overseas, now you're playing the top overseas guys, and you see how big of how much of an influx there is of overseas of European and talent coming into the NHL. So it may actually be a blessing in disguise, or maybe a good thing that if a lot of the Blackhawks, people in the Blackhawks farm system and everyone else for all intents and purposes heads overseas to play Euro style hockey.
That's really sad. Well, thanks for the 3 Stanley Cups, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth, Ruth. The next top of the morning topic. I like this because I've always liked this guy. The Miami Dolphins named Tua Tagovailoa their starting quarterback. They have a bye week this week, but he'll be the starter when they come back. And I'll tell you what, I'm happy about this. I've liked Tua. To me, Tua has been just a stud when it comes to playing. To come to being a leader. When it comes to this guy is he's a winner. He's a proven winner, and Miami needs someone like that at the helm. And we're going to see. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool when they named him. I was really happy for him. It was a bittersweet moment because I guess he said his parents weren't there and he couldn't. He usually talks to his parents about it. But hey, I'm happy for him, and I think it's the era of the Tua era in Miami. Well, it just started.
What did they see that made them think that it's time to move on from Fitzpatrick? I know it's Ryan Fitzpatrick, but did he deserve to lose his job? I mean, I know you got a guy like Tua, but you got a rookie quarterback going in with a team that is overachieving. Let's say that they're overachieving, and you got a veteran quarterback there that's taking care of business. He's nothing's falling off the rails. I know they have the this saying Fitzmagic usually goes to Fitztragic at a certain point, but it's the wheels haven't fallen off. He did nothing wrong to deserve to be replaced at the quarterback position. I don't care if it's Tua or not. That's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face to your now backup quarterback, and to everybody else on that football team, you could be easily replaced if somebody just has a thought. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter about your performance, obviously.
Right. And they signed Fitzpatrick as an insurance policy. And the thing I liked about what Fitzpatrick did, he was nice about the whole thing, I saw him over there hugging to her last week, like, hey, man, you're ready. It's kind of similar to the Nick Foles situation with Carson Wentz. How Carson Wentz was injured all the time. But one thing Nick Foles said during Carson Wentz's injury, he said, you know what? Carson Wentz is the starter of this team. And whenever they need me to come in and play hard, I'll be ready because I believe he's the real starter. But by him being humble like that, it made a way for him. So I'm seeing the same thing from Fitzpatrick. He's a good guy. I saw him hugging to her like, you know what? I know what you've been through, little brother. I'm here to mentor you. I've done my time in the NFL, you know. So if they want to pay me while I mentor you, that's fine with me. You know, like I'm getting paid. You know, my whole thing is, hold on. My whole thing is, you know, I want to see you shine. And that's how he took it. He didn't take it as a competition. He looked at him more as a little brother when I saw him hugging him. I think it was this week when he came in and threw, I think, 2 completions, 2 for 2 for 2. I think that's right. 2 for 2 for 2. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that sportsmanship with him. But I mean, like that's like I said, that's sweet and all. But like, dude, you just lost your job. Like I don't understand it. I mean, I don't understand the move now. 6 weeks in, is Tua's ready without having one snap. He had one snap, a couple of drives. He's all of a sudden you've seen enough to think that he's ready.
Yeah,
I don't know. With a team that's contending. With a team that's contending in the AFC East that's closer than people think, I think that might. I mean, it could be a mistake if Tua does not ball out with a 3-3 team that's right there. Like I said, they're right there in that AFC East. You go back to Fitzpatrick right away. Like you pretty much said, this is Tua time, peanut butter Tua time. That's what it is right now. And if you go back to Fitzpatrick, what does that say about Tua?
Yeah, it'll probably be a two-headed monster this year. You never know. Like if he starts to struggle, then you know at least Fitzpatrick didn't say anything negative. He could just come right on back into that lineup and throw the football. It's kind of similar with Foles and Trubisky. You know, like if Foles struggle and start losing, then we're gonna dial up Trubisky and bring him back in. And I know that most people think Trubisky's career is over. It probably is with the Bears, but you know, if Foles starts struggling and losing, then we're gonna be saying the same thing here in Chicago. What I'm saying is that they got the type of working relationship where, brother, hey, when you out there, do yours. It's all about the team. And I think that's what I saw from Fitzpatrick on Sunday. He was like, hey, if you put us in a better situation to win, look, brother, go out there and do it. And if you get hurt, I'm ready to come in and do the same job. What I'm saying is that I don't think they're beefing over the competition right now because Tua is the franchise quarterback. They took a risk in drafting. He's supposed to have been the top 3 pick, right? Is that correct? If he did get hurt, is that correct?
Yeah, he was one of the top quarterbacks coming out if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah. So now they're starting to see, wait up now, you know, he can run, he's mobile. His accuracy is there. He's a gamer. I can see that he's a gamer. Even on 2 passes, I can see he's a gamer. And he's a left-handed quarterback. You know, he reminds me of Steve Young a little bit. You know how Steve Young had that, and he had the ability to run. So I haven't seen a left-handed starter in a while, you know.
He was number 4.
Yeah.
He's 6th overall.
And Brian Leftwich is not left-handed, by the way. No, I'm just joking.
No, it was something more. Kellen Moore was the last guy, I think 2016.
Yeah.
2016 was the last left-handed quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, you know what? They drafted him. They're 3-3. They're 500. I know you're talking about they're second place in the East. But if you're not happy with it, but also Ryan Fitzpatrick, I mean, he's 37 years old, and you realize that the future's not with Ryan Fitzpatrick. They decided that they wanted to make the move. I don't know if I would have made that decision. Being so close, paying him $8 million this year. That's another thing that you unfortunately have to take into account. That's a lot of money, $8 million that you're paying this guy. To back up,
play wet nurse, like you know what I'm saying, like to back up to play. I'm just saying, like even if I hope he's successful. He seems like a great kid. Like he seems like a great guy. He really does. Yeah. The thing is, it's that when it comes to look at the Chiefs, for instance. Look at Mahomes. He fell into a perfect situation. A perfect situation. A good play caller, playmakers everywhere. And a defense that could do the job, right? And he's a great quarterback. Like his best attributes have been magnified because he fell into a great situation. Is Miami Dolphins? Are they the Kansas City Chiefs? Hell no. So my thing is this? I hope Tua is a baller. I hope he proves me wrong. I really do. But if he doesn't, and he begins to struggle, you've like you've deterred his growth. You really have. You've kind of messed up his development mentally and physically. If he takes a hit and he goes down and he's not 100%, and he just came off his injury. I know everybody's saying he's cleared to go, but if he takes a hit in the NFL and he goes down, just like that, your Magic Man is gone.
And they're probably looking at it.
Why would you say a Magic Man's gone? He's a journeyman quarterback. He understands the situation.
I'm talking about Tua. I didn't mean it's Magic. I meant
you said Tua. The Magic Man, so that's why I thought.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I meant Tua. I meant your guy. The guy that you are putting so much stake in would now have been gone. Or like I said. Mentally, if the Dolphins end up being the Dolphins like we thought they were going to be, I didn't think they were going to get 3 wins as of yet. But I'm just saying it's a very slippery slope.
And they probably, Ivan and Shawn. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interject, but they probably looking at it from this way. They're 3-3. They're looking at Tua coming in as if the team is 0-0. You see what I mean? Right. I know that they're 3-3 now. Three wins is good, but it's still 500. You see what I mean? So they're like, hey, either he's going to put us 1 game over 500 or 1 game under 500, or make 2 games over 500. What I'm saying is that there's no really perfect time you can bring him in, because if you bring him in while Fitzpatrick is hot, then the fans are going to complain. But you bring him in while Fitzpatrick is average at 3-3, you see what I mean? It makes the organization look good from a marketing perspective. So it's saying that, I let Fitzpatrick quarterback for 6 games. Now it's time to bring in the kid.
The key part is that they have a bye this week. So so he has 2 weeks to get acclimated and get ready as a starter. So that's I think that was part of it as well. And I'm okay with it. But you know, even if you bench him, I don't think you lose him. You know, you just realize that he's got more work to do. And you know what, if you do bench him, that you always have Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy who can come off the bench and be successful, who's been successful as a backup and as a starter. So you just say, hey, listen, if he gets hurt or if he struggles, say, hey, listen, you just need more time. Maybe you weren't ready, but you know what? It doesn't take away from the fact that we're going to need you moving forward. We just need you to sit back and watch a little more now. And it was, so. I don't think it's a bad thing. If the roles were reversed, then it'd be a bad thing. Like here in Mitch, like you can't go back to Mitch at full struggles. The only way you go back to Mitch is injury, okay? Because his confidence is shot. See, Tua didn't have the starting job and then lose it. All right, he's a backup. He was a backup. He started as a backup, and you realize that you're 1 play away.
So can I ask this though? So let's say within these next 6 games they go 3-3. Right, so they go 3-3 within these next 6 games. What would be the difference? And plus, like I said, you're giving him an opportunity, yes, to prove himself. But if he starts to struggle, and like I said, what if that next 6 games, instead of being 3-3, what if you're 2-3? What if you're 2-5, 2-5, or 1 and 2-4, or 1-5? You know what I mean? Sorry, math. You know what I'm talking about. But
CPS at its finest.
I'm worried about my quarterback's confidence going into the future, because if the Dolphins are like, hey, we're trying to win now, because this is we're winning now moment for the Dolphins. If he's not the guy to win now, and you go back to Fitzpatrick, and now you're thinking, now you got this guy thinking, man, am I the guy? Now you have to think of it as an organization after seeing him, and if he does struggle, man, is this the guy? Did we make a mistake at 5 overall, just like we saw with Mitch?
How can you make a decision on making a mistake on a quarterback in his rookie season?
I'm not saying
do that. No, you just said that as an organization you have to look and see, did I make a mistake at number 5? You can't make a mistake at number 5. You can't determine and ascertain whether. No, I said you can't ascertain whether it was a mistake in your first season. So Mitch Trubisky's first year, did you say, oh, this guy wasn't going to be it? No, we had no idea. Okay, so you'd have no idea what Tua is right now, because he's a rookie. He's going to have flashes just like Mitch did. He's going to struggle just like Mitch did, just like every quarterback who's taken high or low who started as a rookie. So you can't say it was a success. Drafts are not determined unless there's just a complete bust out, like an Eddie Jackson or Tariq Cohen. And even look with Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen had one good year, and then he died down. So you're like, well, wait a minute. What's the issue with Tariq Cohen?
Like I said before, Pat Mahomes would probably be just to point it out. He'd probably be the only one. But you're right. Like
Patrick Mahomes didn't start as a rookie.
Nobody just shows up. You know what I mean? And it's playing perfect.
Remember, right. Patrick Mahomes didn't start as a rookie.
Right.
His whole year.
Right,
so that's
the systems do make a difference. You know, like I said, I think if Pat Mahomes had came to the Bears, he wouldn't be Pat Mahomes. You know, like, they would have found a way to screw that up.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, shout out to Tua. You know, I know they haven't had a great quarterback since Dan the Man Marino, who I've met before.
Hey, they had Jay Cutler. Watch your mouth.
Oh, Jay Cuddy? Oh, not Cuddy. Oh no.
Cuddy.
I think Marino's last last game was like a 63-0 butt whooping by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, you would know that fact, man.
That's crazy.
Well, I got an autograph. God bless.
Hey, we're gonna bring in a guy. We're gonna move our commercial back just a tad. We're gonna bring in our guy. He's gonna take the baton from Joseph. He is from That Davis Show. You can find him on Twitter at That's Davis. It's our guy, Ken Davis. Kenneth, what's up, Papa?
Good morning, guys. How y'all doing? Ivan, what's up? With that Marino stat, I remember that game, and it was terrible. He went out like that. It hurt my heart. Damn you, Jimmy Johnson. Listen. It's funny. I was thinking about Marino the other day, and I was wondering how he would operate in this league, being someone who wasn't mobile.
Oh my God!
But still, he had that cannon and the pinpoint accuracy with the cannon, and I was like, he'll be a monster today. But, you know, for the most part today, you definitely need wheels. But if Tom Brady could do it, Marino could definitely do it. But that I had forgotten that game against the Jags. And, like, I hate the fact that you put that back in my head because I'm going to remember that for, like, a month now. Like, I totally buried that one, right? And, like, I'm going to remember that.
Nobody remembers.
Right.
I remember that.
Right. I remember he almost ended up being a Viking after that shortly, following he was almost a Viking. I wondered then, because of that game that Ivan mentioned, would it even work if he went to Minnesota?
Yeah,
man, you suck today.
I think the Vikings.
It would have been like
they already went. They went ahead and broke all types of offensive scoring in yards records that year with was that for rookie year 98?
I think it was.
Hey fellas,
I think that was.
Or 99. I don't know.
Hey fellas, my only great memory of Marino is my Super Tecmo days with Mark Duper. That's all I can say, man. That's all.
The Marx Brothers.
I miss those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Or the games against late games against Bledsoe when it was shootouts. On the Patriots. Like I was watching that game live against the Jets where he faked the check down and then he threw it into the end zone.
And then with a touchdown.
I still think about that to this day when people are about to check the ball. Be like, watch him.
Marino did it.
He make it chance. He's one of those people that, unfortunately, because he did not win or win enough, he slept on because, in all fairness, tools-wise, he was probably the best of that generation, if we don't include Randall Cunningham, because Randall Cunningham kind of didn't make it to that level that Marino and Montana had made it to. But gun-wise, man,
Warren Moon.
Same thing. Yeah, definitely. Warren Moon.
Title. If Warren wins a title, Warren Moon is talked about. Just like Peyton Manning. Almost like if Peyton Manning didn't win a title, if he never won a title, it's the same. He's the same.
Listen, if Warren Moon doesn't go to the CFL,
was that?
Warren Moon didn't end up in the CFL. I'm sorry, Joseph. Go ahead.
No. I was agreeing with what you're saying. Warren Moon's a CFL legend. As I said, like he won titles in the CFL.
Right. And he got a little handsy though. He got a little handsy. All right. Yeah. Out there, man. He's my man. He got a little handsy. Unfortunately, those things kind of ruin your legacy a smidge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not a proponent of that, so I got to say it. And I hate to say it for the brothers, but I got to put it out there. Got a little handsy. Listen, like some people, it made it to the news, unfortunately. I shouldn't say unfortunately. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that to your wife.
From parts unknown, weights unknown.
I know, right?
He is the groper.
No, he got caught a domestic with his wife. He caught a domestic.
Okay.
No, but also remember he had the situation with his assistant who he was flying her all over the place, having an affair with her, and then
Really?
she filed a lawsuit because we talked about this on Shawn and Maya because she didn't get promoted. And she thought she was gonna get promoted. She thought she could do something strange for some change and get promoted. And when he didn't promote her, she was mad as a mug. And I was like, yeah. So he's
I let us down the wrong road. I let us down the bad road.
Yeah, you did. You know, that's
the 90s and Dynasty. No, I'm just joking.
Oh man, it's crazy. Well, hey Joseph, thanks, Papa. We appreciate it. We will see you on Friday. And man, we got a lot to talk about on Friday. The Big Ten starts this weekend. I am fired up. The Bears, Monday Night Football. A couple games in the World Series will have happened already. And Charlie, we got a lot to talk about on Friday, Joe. So be ready, Papa. Be ready.
New York City, baby. Here we come.
Oh, so that's right. You're gonna be are you coming to me from New York City?
Do y'all want Times Square or do y'all want the hotel room? Which one?
Times Square.
Hey, because you know what my wife told me? She says, baby, I think it's going to be a little loud in the background. Should I put some headphones in?
So, what's your view from the room? Is your view Times Square or is it uptown or downtown?
I have a corner view of the room, so it's the whole city. Like you can see the city. Like you can see like the buildings leading up to Times Square. You know how it is, son. You live in New York.
But that's what I was asking. Like I didn't know where your room was. So give us
like a corner view. And give us
the background. Give us the ambiance. You know, we'll say coming live from New York City.
I try to do it like ESPN does it. You know, like they had a backdrop in the back. Hopefully, I can pull it off. Hopefully.
Safe trip.
Yeah.
Safe travel. So you can do it like Saturday Night. So you could do it like Saturday Night Live from New York. It's Joseph Phillips.
Right. Yeah, I'll be in the basement somewhere. I was just joking with the Ninja Turtle.
All right, bro. We'll talk to you Friday from NYC.
All right. Peace.
All right, now. Hey, we got to take a quick break. Then the other side of the break.
No.
Stop it. Stop. You're wrong, dude. You're wrong. Funny as hell, but you're wrong.
Totally.
Ken has the baton now. You're gonna sit with us from the 10 to 11 o'clock hour, and we're gonna have more sports conversations. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here, Shawn and Maya on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. Game 1 of the World Series went to the Dodgers, 8-3 the final over Tampa last night, leading 2-0 heading into the 5th. Tampa cut the lead in half with a solo homer. That came off the bat of center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. From there, though, the Dodgers broke it open with a 4-run bottom half of the 5th. Clayton Kershaw went 6 full, striking out 8, 1 run on 2 hits. Meanwhile, Tyler Glasnow gave up 6 runs on 3 hits over 4 1/3. He also struck out 8. Game 2 is tonight. First pitch just after 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Blake Snell starts for Tampa. Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. There were a limited number of fans in attendance last night at Globe Life Ballpark in Arlington, Texas. The smallest World Series crowd in over a century. The announced attendance, 11,388. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5560 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5560. Enjoy.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. You just got done with a guy from the Chicago Crusader, Joseph Phillips, and I forgot he's going to NYC tomorrow morning. He's out early in the morning. It's gonna be good, man. I don't know if you caught any part of the earlier show, and we were talking a little bit about like my time in New York, because I lived there for 2 years.
I didn't know that. And when he mentioned that, it was like, oh, I mean, I knew you were out in the East Coast because of college, but what were you doing when you were living in New York?
I was a bond broker. I worked on Wall Street.
Really?
Yeah, I was Cantor Fitzgerald, One World Trade Center. Yeah.
How'd you get in? Was this what you were going to school for? How'd you end up doing that?
It's all who you know. So this is how I know, and this is how I know that this world is rigged, dude. So I graduated with Holy Cross. So I had the degree. I had the piece of paper, the credentials to get in there. So my roommate from college was at Cantor Fitzgerald. And so at that point, he was in there a year and a half, 2 years, and he decided to go on the other side of the phones. Become a trader. Traders make more money. You take more risk, you make more money. Okay. So, and it started off as a joke, and I was in Italy at the time playing football. I just got back from Italy. So it was the summer of 94 or the fall of 94. And so he says, hey, he goes, would your roommate want to take this job since you guys are so close or whatever. And my roommate Troy is like, I don't know. I'll call him and ask him. So he's like, hey man, he goes, what would you be interested in coming to New York and working over here, taking my old job? I was like, yeah, I guess. He goes, we could live together again and everything. I was like, fine, then bump it. I was like, bug it, okay, I'm going to New York City. I was 23 years old, living in New York City, working on Wall Street in the World Trade Center. Had an expense account. And I was like, let's do it. So I flew out there, and basically they just had to make sure I wasn't a butthole or anything, so the job was literally mine. They just had to meet me. So I flew out there, and as you all do, they loved me. So the next year and a half, almost 2 years, was, as they say, was history. And I got crazy stories from New York. I told Joseph, I lived a multimillionaire lifestyle, being nowhere near a multimillionaire. Not even being close to a multimillionaire. So it was crazy. The stories I told him. I'll have to tell you this when we get together sometime, dude.
Okay.
I was hip hop royalty. It was like Puffy, LL, Reverend Run came in for like literally 5 minutes, scooped up a table full of girls and bolted. Heavy D. It was all because my roommate's girlfriend, her for Def Jam. And she apparently she's very popular. She knew a whole bunch of people. So for her birthday party, we went, and because it was Troy. Troy's my roommate from college. So his girlfriend's sister. So obviously they're going to go as I come to a party. You never know who you're going to be in New York. Who you're going to see in New York. Sure enough, all them Kevin Willis was there from the Atlanta Hawks.
The Hawks, little arm, 7 foot with raptor arms. Cock Diesel raptor arms.
Yeah, Cock Diesel, sure. and that's the story. And that's the night I spit on Rosie Perez.
Whoa, you disrespectful. Hold on, son. Hold on. Rewind that. How dare you, before J-Lo came and stole her lane, spit on Rosie Perez on purpose or by accident?
By accident.
Whoa.
Yeah. So funny story. I'll tell you the story real quick. So Lisa was my roommate's ex-girlfriend. Her sister Dominique, they called her Rhonda. It was Dominique and Rhonda. She had two sisters, and Rhonda worked for Def Jam, and so and she was great friends with Rosie Perez, and I love Rosie Perez because that's the '90s, Billy Joe. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So I love
Do
Rosie
the right
Perez.
thing, the ice.
Yes, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm like, you got to introduce me. She's like, all right. I'm like, but do you know her? She goes, yeah, she's like comes to the house for family. I was like, do you know her? No, like if she saw you, like don't go up to like, hey, do you remember me? I didn't want that type of dub. And she'd be like, yeah, I think I remember you. So I was pressing like, no, do you know? No, like for real. She's like, Shawn. She's like, Shawn, yes, I know her. She comes to all the family parties, Rhonda, and all the time. I was like, okay. So we're there. We got there before her. She gets there about 45 minutes, hour later. And I was like, oh, snap. Lisa, there's Rosie. She's like, Shawn, relax. You got the New York accent. Shawn.
Yeah.
Shawn.
That's a good producer right there. That's a good producer right there.
And she's like, give it time. Give it time. I was like, all right. So about another half hour, 40 minutes goes, and we walk over. He's like, oh my God, Lisa, how you doing? Oh my God. I was like, oh, so she does know her. Okay, you were pro driving. Okay, good. She's like, hey, Rosie, this is my friend Shawn. No, you just want to say, this is my friend Shawn. Shawn, this is Rosie. Like, hey, Rosie, how you doing? And I was still kind of starstruck. I was like, because a lot of things are going on in my mind that probably not appropriate for the show. So, and I was like, she was just dope. You know what I mean? And we're talking. And she was just small. Her accent, as annoying as her voice is, her accent, it just got me. And so I'm talking, and we're talking, and I had a few. It was a birthday party. It was open bar, and I'm talking. All of a sudden, a piece of spit flies out, boop, right at her cheek. And we're talking, dude. And then you talk about being a pro. She's just like, I was like, if I could just crawl in a hole and die right now, I would.
Whoa.
So as soon as she walked, I was like, "I was great talking to you. I got to go." I was like, "I'm out." I got any game that I was spitting, gone.
It's done. Oh, I gotta hear these stories. So why'd you end up leaving New York? What led you stop being a bomb broker?
So the market was down. So usually you go through a training program, and you get to sit on all the desks. And then the leader of the desk says, okay, I want this kid, I want that kid. But I didn't go through the training program. I just went right on the desk on the adjustable rate mortgage bonds. I was on the arms desk. And so I didn't know anything about the 1530s, Fannie Mae's, Fannie Mae's, I should say, anything about anything else. It was just adjustable rate mortgages. So the market was down, and last guy in, first guy out. So that was it. So, so that was it. I could tell you stories, man. The stories that I have from just hanging out with multi-millionaires is just ridiculous. Last quick one, and we'll get back to sports. So this one guy in the office, his name's Matty O. Okay, so he went to college with they call him the big swinging boom. That was the other guy in the office who made the most. They call him the big swinging thing because he made the most in the office. Okay. That was Matt O'Mahony's. They went to college together. They had you remember Dance Party USA, those CDs? Yeah. Yeah, it took like all the top songs at the time, put them on one CD, and just in 1999 you could get them such and such, plus shipping and handling. So they all went to college with the guy who owned that record company, Adam. Okay. So we're talking, okay. So Maddie and Adam. I probably shouldn't have said their names, but oh, God rest her soul. Anyway, so we go and they rented a penthouse. They rented a penthouse, and it was $5,000 a month. Now, mind you, this is 1994. $5,000 a month. Ooh. And so they went up there. They had a party. Like, okay, we're gonna have a party, a housewarming. And my guy who came down a year after us from Holy Cross lived with us in New York. Everywhere I went out, I brought him with me. Just meet people. You never know who you're going to meet, just so you can get a good job. Get a job. You never know. Network. So we get there, and it's out of a movie, dude. We go to the building. It's Midtown. Live on the 33rd floor. Doorman has to let us in, turn the key, press the penthouse, have fun. So we get there, and the door opens up. And I'd say from maybe about 5 feet, 7 feet away from the door is an end table. With a big old pile of.
I was wondering when I was gonna pop out. I didn't want people to break it up. I was like, when's the Colombians gonna pop out in this bad boy?
So Colombia's finest was there. Dude, It looked like someone took a. You remember those ice makers from the school back in the day? The big at the bit of the ice making the ice scoopers. They're like this long. Oh, they're like this long. The big metal one. It looked like someone did that and just poured it on the end table. I was like, you don't get down like that, do you? He goes, no, I don't. Do you? I was like, no. I was like, all right, we're good then. We're straight. And so we're partying on the 33rd floor.
A little white. I'm joking.
No. So there's a wraparound pen. There's the whole top. Okay. Dude, he had a basketball court up there on the 33rd floor.
Get out of here. Dude.
It had a net. So you imagine there's like one corner, had a net behind it and to the sides, to the middle of the others around the building. It was about 25, 30 feet high. It had a net. So it doesn't go over. Could you imagine a basketball coming 33 stories down on your windshield or on someone's head?
So part of the penthouse had basically a deck or open part up to the penthouse. All right.
Yeah, you could walk all the way around the apartment on top. And one of the corners had a basketball court. 25, 30 feet high net. I was like,
that's hard. That's hard. And you said this is 94.
94 is $5,000 a month.
That's hard. It's
like 25, 30 G's a month now, probably, if they're still renting it out. Who knows?
Right.
So, dude, yeah, it's I can tell you the stories from the gentlemen's clubs to the steakhouses to the time that I sobered up. If I'm telling you, you ever want to get someone sober, you show them a big check. I'll tell you that story. I've been drinking from 5 o'clock to like 3 in the morning, and I sobered up like that after seeing some crazy money for checks. I got to tell you that story later. So it's crazy.
Okay. All right.
Dude,
I like story time with Shawn, man. We definitely
story time with Shawn.
I like this. All right.
I'll tell you,
many lives that you've lived.
I'm telling you, bro. I got to write a book. So in the next 5 years, I'll seriously consider penning a book and changing some of the names to protect the innocent. But dude, the stories are just, like I was telling Joe, if you ever saw Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, I was thinking about this when you started. I was like, when's the dance? The Leo doing the dance gonna start popping out. I was thinking Wolf of Wall Street the whole time you said it. I was like,
it's like that, dude. Yeah.
I'm happy you made it, Shawn. I'm happy you're still here with us. All right.
Yeah. So I'm happy
you made it, bro.
Yeah. So crazy stories, man. But yeah, it was New York was a great time. So I hope what's his name? I hope Joseph has a great time out there, which I'm sure he will. And so I was back there. A couple years, 2 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 years ago, when we had Holy Cross played Fordham because they're in our conference. They played them at Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
So my roommate, who's a big time baller now, want to be a shot caller, ball up. He got the 20-inch blades on the Impala. I'm telling you.
Okay.
So he rented out a suite at Yankee Stadium for us, and that was dope. Dude. That was dope. Dude, that's that crazy money. So yeah.
So he stayed in the market. I take it.
Yeah, he's from New York. He's from Queens. So
I meant as far as with the trading.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. So he runs his own hedge fund now. So enough said. Yeah, he's balling. He's balling.
Okay, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
He came.
Wow.
He was here. He was in Chicago. Like last time he was here was 2017, and we met up for drinks. And he had a party. He rented out. Where did he go? One of Billy Deck's places. El Jefe. Okay. Yeah, he rented out the second floor of El Jefe. And so we get there. I'm like, dude, and I didn't realize he had rented it out. And everyone's like, hey boss, and coming over. I knew he had the hedge fund, but and all too many people kept coming up and saying, hey boss. And I'm like, why are all these people here? He's like, oh yeah, we rented it out. And oh, okay. It was a Friday night because I was working at the Under Armour store, and it was a Friday night, and I was like, oh damn, okay. I was like, well, what brings you in town? He goes, oh, I gotta go ask some guy if I could have $50 million for my hedge fund. Oh, Well, alrighty then. Well, good luck. Well, good luck. So
I don't feel good. I don't feel good today now, Shawn. Monday, I left here super happy Monday, right? I was laughing, went upstairs, talking to the family, like, man, it's so fun. Now I feel just
why?
I'm gonna go ask for $50 million. And I'm renting out the top floor of El Jefe, but guess what? I'm about to go ask, like, what am I doing with my life right now? Is the question. Like, goodness gracious, like, wow, this sports thing is a wrap. Whoa. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we definitely have to have a couple of discussions off here.
Definitely. We will. We'll throwing a few back too. I'll tell you these stories. Some are these stories are
yeah.
But yeah, so how about them Hawks, dude? They made it official. This is going to lead us into John Dietz at the bottom of the hour. In a few minutes, John Dietz is going to come on and talk about the Blackhawks and this rebuild now. You know, it's
soft rebuild. Listen, when I was watching the video, I was tickled to see if he was going to say reload. This is what I was watching. I was like, I want to see if he's, which I know you basically can't. This is my only issue, and definitely when we bring on John in the article from the Daily Herald, and I know that it was centered around how you tell those players who have done so much for you what direction you're going to go in. They definitely just need to know. But my question is, what did they expect to happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, it's been a minute. I mean, even with that one in 2017, who really knew? That was kind of, I don't want to say it was luck from the type of players that you had on the team, but at certain points, people had thought the dynasty had finished. It's wild. I mean, it's sad too when you think about what the Blackhawks have meant to Chicago. You know, before the Cubs finally won one, and they've been the best organization pretty much in the city. Even with the Cubs winning one, I would still say they've been the best organization. But another question I have is this. Now, when he's sitting there, when Stan's talking about, you know, you can't rebuild like that. And I'm like, okay, and are you saying it's because, you know, the cap being tied to the loon as far as the money, like some of these contracts you can't move. Like that's my real question. Because to be honest with you, if you're going to do a real one and someone wants these guys, that's what I think the problem is. Who's going to pay for these players at that dollar price? Yeah, if it was cheaper, they would bring in a vet. But who's going to pay for these players? I'll be honest with you. And for Dan Davis show, of course, it's that Davis show. Our resident hockey guy, Sidney Brown. Sidney's been in the hockey since hockey was hockey, and so he used to also be one of our executive producers. And I used to be like an interview and talking to Cheryl Ray Stout, and I used to say, "Man, listen, should have traded Jonathan Taves a long time ago." And I know what he means to the Hawks, but the writing was on that wall. You know what I'm saying? Where at least it was teams out there that would have been like, look at this captain. He may not be the same guy. And I know 2 years ago he had a resurgence. He may not be the same dude, but if we got a captain like that on our team with the young players that we got, we can really get some. So there was more value than just necessarily the player that was on the ice. And even though, like I said, I know people would have been unhappy, but there were things you could have done because we all knew. And I know that there was, the situation happened with Patrick Kane. So you may not want to focus on Kane. But listen, that was blown up basically from what the mom did, and Kane is grown up. You know what I'm saying? You knew basically you was gonna keep Kane anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I know that it was there was a duo with the contracts with the same agent and signing the same amount of money. But at one point, one was more valuable because one, he could do it on both sides of the ice, and you know what I'm saying. But also he was the captain and he was the straw that stirred the drink. But at one point, man, Shuddy got hit too often. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, like that to me would have been a pivot that necessarily you could have done. Then you look at some of the players that you traded. What was it? Was Panarin the guy? Who was the
Breadman?
The center that was with Kane.
Breadman.
Yeah, and like you did that, and then listen, you went and brought Saad back, and it didn't work. Like like even when you think about that, you brought Saad back, right? Mind you, I know like I tell you, I don't do the hockey, but you see, I can do this, right? And listen, when you brought Saad back, and I was like, you know what? Because when you see what he did in Columbus at first, it was like, damn, y'all did that, and then it didn't work. And also, when is it gonna fall on Bowman? You know what I'm saying? Because basically, you did it with Dale's people, right? Yeah. It's really the act's going to come down on you because you did not. I won't say you totally didn't reload, but not long-term reload with some of the talent that necessarily we expected. But I know, we got Deets coming on. But yeah, it's only problem you may not be able to get back to where you're going. It may be a decade before you get back to where.
My question though. Here's my question that I'm going to ask John. How the hell do you not know it's a rebuild when you go in with no goalie?
That's a good point.
I was telling Joseph, I said, look, if you had a guy in waiting, if you had a Patrick Mahomes, who you didn't know, he is very talented, but you didn't really know what he could do, who was an understudy for Corey Crawford for a year or two. Okay, like even if he had Scott Darling, and he had Scott Darling was still here and stayed, and he played second fiddle. He was the second chair, okay, to Corey Crawford for the last 3 years, and they moved down for Crawford, but had Darling who had been here, then I can say, okay, then I can see. But you got nothing. You got Colin Delia. You got Subban, PK's brother. Like, they got nothing special between the pipes. And to make a run at the Stanley Cup, you got to have someone who can be special between the pipes, as we've seen Corey Crawford be special at times between the pipes. So we got a lot of questions for John Deets, so don't go anywhere, folks. John Deets coming up next right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. Game 1 of the World Series went to the Dodgers, 8-3 the final over Tampa last night, leading 2-0 heading into the 5th. Tampa cut the lead in half with a solo homer. That came off the bat of center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. From there, though, the Dodgers broke it open with a 4-run bottom half of the 5th. Clayton Kershaw went 6 full, striking out 8, 1 run on 2 hits. Meanwhile, Tyler Glasnow gave up 6 runs on 3 hits over 4 1/3. He also struck out 8. Game 2 is tonight. First pitch just after 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Blake Snell starts for Tampa. Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. There were a limited number of fans in attendance last night at Globe Life Ballpark in Arlington, Texas. The smallest World Series crowd in over a century. The announced attendance, 11,388. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5560 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5560. Enjoy.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. And I'm sitting here with my buddy Ken Davis from That's Davis Show. We were talking a little hockey as we prep for our guests, and we have a lot of questions for him. He just wrote an article last week about a interview with Christopher Steger, and then the Hawks moving forward. So let's bring him out. You can find him on Twitter. He covers the Blackhawks for the Daily Herald. You can find him on Twitter at John Dietz, DH. Guys, it's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, John Dietz. John, what's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? Good to see you guys.
Wonderful.
Hey,
Wonderful. So big news yesterday, man. We got the official. I got my notification. I got the letter and everything. And, so it's officially the R word. I don't know can we say that in Chicago, the R word? I don't know.
Sure.
Oh, no, I guess we could because the Cubs did it. The White Sox did it. So and it worked out for them.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to work out for the Blackhawks. We're officially rebuilding or retooling, whatever they want to say. But to me, John, talk to me about this, because I know you talked to Chris Versteeg about this and what some of the core players had to say about it, because obviously he's still friends with some of those guys. But for me, I look at it as this, like, Bowman's look at me in the eye, pissing on my shoes and tell me it's raining. Because how the hell are you going to contend for titles or to go deep in the playoffs when you have no goalie?
They don't expect to go deep in the playoff next year, obviously, or maybe not the year after. I mean, it's so long. There's so much to get into. But Chris and I talked. I mean, Chris and I, as soon as I heard you guys do the end of your last segment, and as soon as you saw they weren't going to re-sign Corey Crawford and they were seriously not going to go after a goalie, you didn't need anybody to come out with a letter to the fans and tell people that you're going to a rebuild, right? It's like, here's what we're doing. We're going through, I mean, that was clear as soon as you weren't going to sign Corey Crawford. And then a couple days later, they traded, right after the free agency began, they traded Brandon Saad, which is not, a lot of people were ripping that trade, and I wasn't that appalled by it, honestly. Zadorov is a pretty solid defenseman. We'll see how he is. He's a restricted free agent after the year. You knew you weren't going to re-sign Saad after next year. You might as well go out and get something, the most you can get for him. And better to trade him now than at the trade deadline when things, typically you don't get the greatest deal then. So anyway, I wasn't that, appalled again by that trade. I don't know, but like I said, Versteeg basically in the first few seconds of my interview with him was saying, well, it looks like a rebuild to me. So again, you don't have to be a genius to see what they've decided to do. It's just the questions are, why didn't you decide to do it a year or two ago, right? I mean, why are you doing it now? Why did you do it last year instead of bringing in Ole Mata, Calvin DeHaan, and Andrew Shaw, like three guys that all have major injury history? Why? Because I think the Hawks have always tried to do this. Yeah, we're not really trying to rebuild. We're really trying to go for the playoffs, but do we really have a team that can win the Stanley Cup? I mean, you really just, all you have to do is open your eyes to see that wasn't the case. The team's not going to compete with Tampa Bay and St. Louis and all the best teams in the league, Washington, Pittsburgh, on a nightly basis. They got better last year. They made the playoffs thanks to the pandemic. All those things, right? They finished in last place. I mean, I'd have to go back and look through history. Was that the first? It had to be the first time well, maybe not. I mean, they used to let 16 teams out of 21 in back when I was growing up. So I'm sure last place teams made the playoffs back then. But, ever since they expanded the league to 25 and then, we're at 31 teams, I'm sure a last place team has never made the playoffs. But it happened to the Hawks. Anyway, that's my – again, we knew that they were going through a rebuild. It was clear as soon as they were going to bring Corey Crawford back. And even if they brought Corey Crawford back, I mean, really, this team's going to go to the Stanley Cup final? No. So again, if people who read my story today, I mean, I kind of got on them a little bit for being like, trying to coddle the fans a little bit. But then I also said, this is what they should be doing. In all honesty, this is what they should be doing and what they should have been doing a couple of years ago.
So how quick before we get back to the Eric Daze years? Sounds like that's what you're saying. Like a dude that's not even a star, he's straight. This is my question. I really want to know, John, what your rebuild would be now. I don't even want to ask what you would have done in the past because we can't even do that. It seems like out of the star players that you have, there's only one with true value. So one, do you move Kane to try to jumpstart this restart, or is it still? And this is the crazy part too. Since no one's going to Madison right now, the Madhouse due to the pandemic, right. This may be the time because you're going to be eating that. You're going to be eating that money anyway for you to try to get ahead of this. Now I know you still want viewers sit there on NBC Sports to watch, but still they'll come back because you've expanded this team's fan base clearly. But so how would you go about this rebuild, John?
That's a very good question, Kenneth, and it would be a long answer. I probably should write the column on it.
There you go. We have your topic for your next column.
Yeah, exactly. Here are a couple problems with even me trying to do that. First of all, I would not trade Patrick Kane. He's 31, I think, and he's got 7 really good years left, right? And he's one of the best players in the league. He's a superstar. Here's the thing about trading superstars in the NHL. You never get equal value back. You could trade for a bunch of guys, but they're not. Patrick Kane turns games around by himself, right? So I just would not do that. That's the one guy I would not trade. You could trade Jonathan Taves. I mean, Wayne Gretzky left the Oilers, and Joe Montana left the 49ers, and all those things.
Michael Jordan left the Bulls.
Michael Jordan left the Bulls, right. You've got plenty of superstars that have left their teams. The issue is trying to find some team to take his contract, but, I guess you eat about half of it because it's a $10.5 million cap hit. That's the problem. They have so many of these guys with massive cap hits. And Bowman, when he signed those guys, thought these are going to be two great deals, $10.5 million cap hits down the road. Guys will be making $12, $13, $14 million. That never happened for a lot of reasons. And this year it got even worse because of the pandemic. He just kind of got railroad. Anyway, so I would not trade. To answer your question, I would not trade Patrick Kane. I might try to trade Jonathan. Again, you have to ask these guys if they want to waive their no movement clauses, though. So if they say yes, then maybe, and then Taves might tell you, I'm only going to allow you to move me to 3 or 4 teams. Seabrook might say the same thing. Keith might say the same thing. So you're kind of hamstrung there, right? So there's no easy answer. I would kind of, Kenneth, you asked a good question because we're not going to go backwards because I would do about 500 things differently. The first thing not to sign Brett Seabrook to an 8-year extension. Okay, that would have been
with a no move clause.
With a no move clause, right? Because that would have. I still believe that if you would have held off on that, you might have been able to keep Artemi Panarin for the long term. But again, we can't do that now. So again, what I said in my story today was I kind of think they're on the right path. Actually, you're going to struggle this year. Let these kids develop. Put the guys in for however many games when they struggle or stub their toe, pull them out, see who else can do it. That's what Bowman said yesterday. I mean, he said, some of these guys are not going to play well. We're going to send them to Rockford. We're going to bring other guys up. We're going to see what they can do. And we're going to have a weird season next year. I think we could have, this is just a guess, we could have a 48 or a 56 game season or something like that. And that's another story I'm trying to work on because we don't even know if they're going to start on January 1st. The Vegas owner wants to start on February 1st and is adamant that they need fans. So it's a whole mess. Anyway, that would be I think they're kind of on the right path, especially if they finish dead last and get like a first or second pick of the draft and get in my today's kind of like a generational talent to join all these guys. Then you're kind of building something. And I think if you drafted the right players and the goalie you took in the draft turns out to be good, those guys usually take about 3 years to show up. Maybe. But then and then you try to convince Kane to stay. That's going to be tough, though. I don't think Kane may not stay. I mean, I have a sneaky suspicion that he might go east and go join his buddy in a few years, if you know what I mean.
So, yeah, I looked at it different. I was like, okay, if you wanted to trade Kane, but I forgot you could, he could play till 36, 37.
Oh, easily. He could go 38 or something. I mean, he's such good shape. And he's one of those, he doesn't ever take a huge hit, right? He's 5'9", 175 or 85 or whatever. And he
5'9" in skates.
Yeah, he never gets pummeled. He's always so good at moving away. I mean, the one time, obviously, February of 2015, kind of unfortunate for him. But other than that, he stays extremely healthy. And I don't know. I would try to keep him as long as I could.
Okay, so now what do we do with the goaltending situation? Because we stick with Colin Delia. I mean, I know he told us that, you told us, Bowman, that you expect us to believe that you're going to go in the playoffs, but you can't. The defense, they employ a Swiss cheese defense most times. You have no goalie. Colin Delia is the best you got, and I think he's an admirable backup. But where do we go with the goalie situation? I mean, who's out there that they could go sign if they can sign them because the cap is we're so hamstrung by the cap.
Okay, so I actually think Kevin Lankinen's going to win the job, just from an observer standpoint. Watching summer training at the Fifth Third Arena, he looked the best of those three guys. Just from a writer standpoint, that's just watch, and they'll just practices and stuff, right? So it's hard, but he definitely looked solid. Delia, yes, you're right. Delia and Subban are backups, and put them in there for 20 games a season and hope they go 500, stuff like that. The most obvious comment to me was from Scott Darling. And for those of you who missed that story, he said, I don't know what's going to happen to the Blackhawks if you don't have a top 5 goalie in front of that, or a top 5 goalie behind that defense, because the defense, like you just said, basically gets, kind of lit up every night. It's not just the defense, right? Everybody just talks about the defenders. It's also the forwards. Hockey is 5 guys on the ice playing defense. It's not 2.
Right.
So, those guys are it'll be interesting. Those guys are going to struggle. I mean, no better way to get better than, it's funny. This is interesting. I just think it is. Robin Leonard played on some of the worst teams you can imagine in Buffalo back in like 2000, I want to say 14, 15, 16, something like that. Terrible. And I remember him talking this year in the locker room about, he goes, I've gotten so good at defending 2-on-1s and breakaways. Well, why was that? Because teams were just flying on the ice on him all the time. And he became one of the best goalies in the league. So trial by fire, right? I'm sure he let in a ton of goals under those circumstances, or some of them. But he learned how to read plays. He learned how to beat or how to stop a 2-on-1, how to stop certain guys on breakaways and things like that. So, I mean, that's what you're going to see a lot this year. And maybe these goalies really get a lot better because the defense isn't that great in front of them. They're facing all these odd man rushes a lot more than they want to. So anyway, my answer is there's no free agent goalie the Hawks are going to go get, in my opinion. They're going to let these three guys go into camp. They're going to let one of them win the job, one of them be the backup, and one of them go to Rockford. And we'll see how it transpires. It'll be interesting. Lankinen, I have my money on Lankinen, though.
Guys, we're joined by John Dees from the Daily Herald, talking a little Blackhawks hockey right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. So, go ahead, Ken.
No, John, let me ask you this. So since we're going with the youth movement, who are the guys that right now seem average or a little above average that you expect getting a lot more time on the ice may grow to be, if not star players, but pretty good players that they can start to be the new foundation?
Excellent question, my man. I'm going to start. Let's start with the defense. Okay. Ian Mitchell, second round pick from 3 years ago. 3 years at Denver. Has been very. He could have probably made the team last year. I think he steps in and plays a major role. So that's one big time player that I think steps in. Boquist, I think we all know Boquist, right? But I think he takes a step up. He's better than years before. Things like that. I'm looking at the roster. Hold on. Because trust me, man, there's a lot of guys that I'm still learning too. So okay, maybe this guy. Also, you know who else I like? Lucas Carlson and Nicholas Beaudin, two young guys defensemen again, who can step up and play minutes, and we'll see how these guys are going to get put in and then taken out. Put in and taken out. Let's see how they do. Wyatt Kalynuk. An overseas signing, okay? Here's a guy I've never seen play. I have no idea what he's going to be like. We'll find out. He might be a guy that steps up. Forward-wise, I mean, everybody wants Alex Nylander to take the next step, right? And that guy has phenomenal talent, but he just – I don't know. I think he is what he is, and he's a very talented player that's not going to ever develop into the guy they wish he would develop into. Some of it's just hockey sense. You guys know, to be a sports player in any sport – you have to have an IQ, right? You have to know where to be. And it's not just racing down the field on a football field, right? Just to use a football analogy. Really, really fast guys have done nothing in the NFL because they can't catch or they can't adjust to a zone defense, all that kind of stuff, right? And that's the same thing in hockey. Like, you can fly down the ice and have a great shot and have great moves, which Nylander has all of that. But I don't know that he knows exactly where to be all the time. So I don't know. How do you grow that, right? I mean, there's nothing. Can you grow like hockey sense? Can you grow football sense? You guys can answer that. That'd be interesting for you guys.
That'll be my next column.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I think Kirby Dach's going to take a massive leap next year. I mean, just a massive leap. If they're honest with themselves, I don't know. 2 years from now, he could be the number one center on the Hawks, very possibly. Maybe not next year, but they might put him in some situations next year where they let him be the number one center just to see how it works out. And I also think you're going to see him a ton on the penalty kill. So he's going to.
He's what, 19, 20 now? 19?
Yeah, he's only 19.
Still.
So his minutes are going to explode. And then Dylan Strome needs to make another step. He's like shows, but they kind of misused him last year, right? They tried to play him on the wing. He's not a winger; he's a center. So he should be able to be a solid third line center. I'm trying to those guys. Sorry, I can never pronounce this guy's name right. Pius Suter. Okay, overseas signing, just like Dominic Kubalik was last year. Nobody knew who Dominic Kubalik was last year, right? But watching that kid in the preseason, I was like, oh my God, this guy has some serious ability to be a huge, you could just tell his shot. He knew where to go. He's not afraid of getting in front of the net. He scores every way imaginable. That's why he scored 30 goals and was a Calder Cup, a Rookie of the Year finalist. Pius Suter has from what I've heard, has the ability to kind of be the same player. I don't expect him to come in and score 30 goals, but I do expect him to come in and play a major, major role. So there's a guy that you guys should definitely keep an eye on. Let me try see if I can find one more. Yeah. That's all I can really give. Matea Chalupa. I don't know anything about that guy either, so I'm just being honest, right?
You work at Taco Bell?
These guys
I love it.
these guys are coming from overseas, and we'll see how they play. You know, everybody wants to think they know what's going to happen with these guys, but they don't. They come in, and some of them are busts and they do nothing, and some of them are really fabulous because it's hard to know how their game's going to translate to the American game. So I don't really try to make any opinions, I guess, on any of them until we see how they look over here, because who knows if it's going to translate. All right, so those are my names for next year. I think it's going to be interesting really to see those young defensemen because I know they want to grow them. And then where's Brent Seabrook going to fit in, right? Is he going to play all the time and they keep sitting him? Because you're going to hog him off if he keeps getting healthy scratched all the time. I see tacos.
No, that's a chalupa.
Chalupa. I love it. Chalupa was my favorite sandwich from Taco Bell for about a year. I always went in, I got a chalupa and a Dr. Pepper on my way to work.
As he takes a swig.
Yeah. And you actually don't pronounce it chalupa. I don't even. It's pronounced something else, but I'm.
You know you do.
I'm saying
clearly.
chalupa.
Look, let me ask you this. So, like in your article, and I know it was about specific times, basically when the game's on the line, that some of those vets necessarily won't be in. But if Taves isn't going to be on the first line all the time, it's basically mean we're going to see him and Kane playing a lot more together. Like how is that going to happen? And then after that, do you look at Cullerton as necessarily being a guy that's good for a young team, developing team? Like, does he seem like the type of guy that he's fit for that? Or does it seem like that may be something you have to readdress in the future moving forward?
Tough one. That's good. First question, that was Versteeg telling me that he thought that these guys' roles were going to go down. And that's just his opinion. He's like, in a rebuild, the management wants to see how the young guys react to big-time situations. I think Kane you're going to see on the ice in the last minute of tight games all the time. Taves and Keith, they might be on the bench at times, at the end of the games. And so let's see how the young guys react in a 2-1 game, trying to lock down a 2-1 win with a minute to go or something like that. I don't really know, to be honest, but those all Versteeg's opinions. And so I just followed what he was saying and said, hey, here's what he believes, and I could see it happening that way. As far as Carlton goes, I've always kind of been in his corner. I got to know him in Rockford for a year and a half while he was there, and I don't just talk to him, obviously. I talk to all the players, veterans, guys who like Cody Francing and Lance Bowman, guys who have been around, right? So you can tell when they're really telling you the truth and straight shooting. And everybody has said how good he is with young players and developing them and moving their level of play up, right? That's what you want on a team like this. That's exactly what you want. The one thing I still concern is the right word, and he's learning, right? I think he's only still 34. How good of a game day coach is he? I don't really have an answer of that yet. I really don't. That's the one thing I've tried to ask people, and I don't know that I'm always getting the right answer, because they're never going to tell you like how good a game day coach is Jeremy. It's terrible. He can't make any moves. You're never going to hear that. So there's little things I wonder about. Like I was like the goalie is still in the net with 90 seconds to go and they're down by a goal, or 2 minutes to go and they're down by 2 and the goalie's still in the net. It's like, you want to pull the goalie? And that's such a little thing, right? I mean, I know it's only little things like that, but how does he do against matching lines? And has he always got the right guys in the right situations? I thought Kubalik should have been. I thought they brought him along nicely in the beginning last year, but then at some point I was like, can't you see this guy's a rocket of a shot? He should be on the first power play all the time. That was just, again, my opinion. But so I don't know. I think as far as growing talent and stuff, great. I mean, especially for young guys, all those other things, I'm not so sure about right now. And I don't know like who you'd bring in, because you don't want like a taskmaster that's just pounding guys. That's just not the modern day athlete anymore, right? You're gonna drive some guys into the ground, and they're not gonna. Not that I agree with that. I think you can be a little bit of a hard nose. That's how I grew up. A little bit of hard nose stuff. But the kids these days don't grow up that way, and you're gonna lose some of them. So I hope that answers your question, Kenneth.
It definitely did. It definitely did. These little punks out here need to learn.
That's what I think. Yeah. Exactly.
Before we get off, listen. During a lot of interviews, I enjoy your honesty. I just want to point that out. I'm enjoying this one. Like I love it. Just keep it real. Let me know. I love it, man. So just keep it going. But yeah, those little punks out there, I'm with you. You can be harder, and you're getting paid too. And I'm not a curmudgeon like that when it comes. Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, but you're getting paid, so I can't be on you a tad bit now. Like, come on, bring your ass on.
Right, I agree 100%. Thanks, Kenneth. I appreciate that, man.
No doubt.
So when do we start to see or when should Bowman start to feel the seat getting a little warm? Okay, because now, did he just buy himself some time within rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call it? Because now you say, okay, well, you got to give me time to let everybody develop, or 2 or 3 for them to get to where we need him to be. Did he just buy himself some time?
The honest answer to that is 2.5 years ago. That's when he should have felt the seat after Jalmerson and Panarin were traded, and that didn't work out so well. I don't know. It seems like he has the longest leash in the world. I mean, most teams would have gotten rid of their general manager by now with what's been going on. You can. There are definitely moves that Stan Bowman has made that have
Reinsdorf. Reinsdorf.
Yeah, exactly. Stan Bowman has made some very, very good moves and very good signings. Contract wise, I think he overpays guys sometimes. And he's made some very bad moves. So, I mean, you're not going to get everything right. You want to get most, like he said yesterday, I heard him say, you want to get more things right than wrong. But when you mess one thing up dramatically or drastically, the Seabrook signing, obviously, that's almost reason to be fired right there. I mean, I'm sorry. I say this to people who talk to me about the Hawks all the time. Imagine what they could do with $6.875 million last year, the year before, next year, the year after. That's a $7 million player that they could have for years, or $3.5 million players, whatever. All right, anyway, sorry. I'm kind of getting around the point. His seat should start to get warm. I guess now you're right. Yes, he's definitely bought himself some time because now we're rebuilding. I guess like 18 months. I think he's bought himself like at least 18 months, like next season and then half of the season after that. If they're really still terrible and not showing a whole lot of progression, I think you could see a whole overturn. But again, I don't know. His leash seems like I've never seen a leash longer that stands. But
apparently you ever looked at the West Side. You ever looked at the Bulls organization?
He bought himself time, and it hasn't all been terrible. I wrote a story about that a couple of years ago, like detailing the good moves and the bad moves.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, there's lots of good moves. There are a lot of good trades, that he's made that have and signings like the Kubalik signing and trading Brandon Manning to the Oilers for Drake Caggiula. Are you kidding? Somebody took Brandon Manning off your hands and gave you Drake Caggiula. I mean, that was a great move. So there's some good moves, and I still don't know about the Schmaltz for Strome move. I don't know that that's going to be, a lot of people in the beginning are like, oh, it's a great move. I don't know, man. Schmaltz a pretty good player. Borderline star. I mean, so we'll see how the jury is still very much out on that one. Let me finish with this. This is the one thing you guys played, right, at different levels of sports. You need to let a team mature and grow and be together for a while, right? You can't just keep throwing guys into rosters all the time and expect it's like changing your offensive line every year, right? How's that going to work out for you? 5 new guys every year. It's not going to work out for you very well. And so the Hawks, I feel like they got away from sometimes gets away from I call it like the human factor. You're getting away from the personality in the room, what they mean to the team, how much they mean to the other players. And yeah, contracts and cap hits mean something, but you can't just look at contracts and cap hits. Like you lost, you know what I mean? Some of these guys are integral parts behind the scenes. And I think he misses that sometimes. And that's one of the reasons that some of these trades that are made don't work out and end up sending their team further and further down this path.
You know what? I agree with you. There is that human factor that that sabermetrics and statisticians just don't get. If you look at the numbers, numbers, they don't lie, but they don't tell the truth all the time either, and they don't tell the whole story. And so you need guys. You couldn't have put it more succinctly. They need time to grow. They need time to develop. They need time to gel. They need to develop a chemistry. And if you don't do that, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're still, because everywhere you're going to be in year one of a new team trying to get chemistry. Well, the next year you got a new, unless it's like 1 or 2 fringe guys that you bring in, then that's fine. But if it's new key guys, every year is going to be the first year of developing chemistry. And then just when you're starting to develop chemistry, you add another guy in the mix, and now you have to add him into the mix to get new chemistry. And it just doesn't work. And we've seen it since 2015. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hey, John, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Do me a favor though, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Absolutely. some really great stuff lately. So go to dailyherald.com, search my name, or just Google stuff like John Dietz's story on Chris Versteeg, Scott Darling, and then today's story about, Bowman talking and sending the letter out. All three are really great, I think. That's Darling's story is an exclusive. No other print paper had that. And then the Versteeg story is an exclusive. So both of those are really good, really open your eyes if people haven't seen those. Great comments, really forthcoming stuff. The guys were so honest about it. It was great. And those are great stories. We don't get those as much anymore, right? All these Zoom interviews, we can't talk to guys one-on-one as much. So I think people really enjoy those. And then today was kind of my column. We kind of hit on it a lot in this interview. But I think it'll be neat for people to read that too. So 3 really good stories. And then on Twitter, it's John Dietz, DH.
And John Dietz, Scott Darling lives at the corner from where my buddy lives. So,
cool.
Because he sees him walking his dog all the time, and many times I just feel like going and just knocking on the door, like, all right, listen, Scott, can I do an interview with you? Just knocking on the door. I just never had the cojones to do that, but yeah.
Yeah, he's got like a Great Dane, I guess. Those things
Yeah.
are huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. He could damn near ride that thing.
I'll bet. Yeah. Well, in fact, he told me they got a second Great Dane. Him and his fiance went out west in one of those RV things for like a month, and they got a second one. So they have 2 Great Danes. I can't imagine that house.
Yeah, insane. Hey, John, great stuff, buddy. We appreciate it. We'll be in touch soon.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks for having me. See you guys.
All right now, guys. That was John Dietz for the Daily Herald talking little Blackhawks hockey, and up and down my timeline, Ken, I had a lot of people saying, this should have been done 2 years ago.
Oh, dude, I just told you after 2017. Listen, if I don't follow John, he's getting a follow right now. Yeah, dude. Like that was a good one. I appreciate that. I like straight shooters. We all don't know everything. It's funny. I did an interview yesterday with JJ, and it's a lot of the things where I watch football. He says the things that I see, and it's not all like rosy glasses and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't have to lie. You know what I'm saying? Like people kind of like, that was a good one. John's a straight shooter. I like that one. Sean, sometimes Sean, I like you, Sean. Some days, it works. I did the hockey for you. You see how much I came in. I did the hockey, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
it was fun.
You're on the DL, bro. I didn't know you were like that deep into hockey. Look at you.
Oh, it's Chicago, man. I told you the thing is, it hurt my heart. So it wasn't like I wasn't into it. I was, and then the puck didn't glow anymore. But I was, but you didn't want to have a game at home. And then when they started bubbling up, people was like, we don't want you on this bandwagon. I was like, all right, I don't want now. But no, but it makes me even more. It's funny. I always think like a general manager to a certain degree. So these are the time periods that I'm always interested in a team. But the part, especially here in Chicago, outside of when the Cubs definitely did it, and when Dale first did it, and then Stan took over, we never get to the other side a lot. We're like the old Kansas City Royals. They rebuild, then finally in 2015 they won. But they've been rebuilding since the 90s, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like that happens in Chicago a lot, where we're rebuilding, but you don't rebuild to championship status or even real contention status. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens.
It's like to that Kenneth. It's like they get close, then they get cute.
Right?
They get close, then they get cute, and they don't put the money on the table. They don't put the money.
Exactly. They don't go swinging for it.
And that's what holds back a lot of these great teams. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the better teams that Chicago, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, not go on and putting the money where your mouth is the biggest thing.
It is weird being on this side of it, because we've never seen a rebuild that worked from a championship team to not a good team back to a championship team, because the Hawks was their window. They had they were up. The Bulls, they were the window. They were up. The Cubs had their window. They were up. The White Sox never really had a window. And until now.
Even the Bears got lucky. Did you think Urlacher was going to be who he was? And then all of a sudden that team started building the defense. Nobody knew. When they went ahead and they got to the playoffs in was it 01? 13-3, they played the Eagles. They got demolished. That was like, oh, whoa, who are these players? But it was because of some of the players you had on defense, but nobody knew. and then they started little by little attacking, addressing that defense. But nobody knew they were going to reach the Super Bowl in a few years after that.
Look, Ivan, to go along with what you're saying, they didn't even have him at middle linebacker at first. If you remember.
Yeah,
Nope, it was outside. He was playing inside linebacker.
Yeah, so they didn't even like I mean, thinking about that draft, the guy that was basically playing safety, and we're like, well, he's so big, like no one knew he was going to be a Hall of Famer, right? So, like, I'm with you. You didn't know that, but Shawn, you brought up a great point. We've never seen, because you can look at what the Cubs, even what the Cubs and Sox did. The Cubs did build themselves for a championship. I don't want to say the Sox got lucky. Kenny had put the right players and a great pitching staff together, and you had Scotty Potts. I think people forget about how the hitters that the Sox had before when you talk about Maglio, Carlos Lee, and Frank. You know what I'm saying? That even before, I know Ray Durham had been gone for a period of time, but let's not forget the old Jose. They used to be like, Jose. Short, right? But they used to have just all boppers, and they basically got rid of all those guys. Frank only played half. Scotty Potts got on bases, but they didn't know. But we've never seen someone, and it'll basically be the Cubs or right now the Blackhawks win the title, or Blackhawks multiple titles, Cubs one title, and then rebuild and get back to titles. Like, we have never in our lifetime seen that. The many chances that the Bears had in the 80s, and they should have won more than one, we've never seen them. Because I don't even think you can say it's not even really a rebuild if it's another decade later when you get back. A rebuild is like 4 years and you're back in contention, maybe 5. But if that's two other general managers basically. If it takes you another decade, like what you're saying, Ivan, for the Bears to get back to the Super Bowl, that's a whole different management basically. But yeah, Shawn, we've never seen that here in Chicago. And to be honest with you, the sad part, we deserve it. We just don't put these teams' feet to the fire and force them to necessarily do it.
Yeah, we do, and it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes the Blackhawks to get back to that point, because we know it's not going to be 2 years. It's going to be a lot longer than 2 years. And then where's Kane going to be? Is Kane going to be salty at that point? Okay, right. Let me get somewhere else. I do want another title because I should have 4, but I got 3. So there's a lot, and there's a lot. Will our White Sox win one in this window now? And then if they, because like the Red Sox, remember they won in 4, and then was it 07? They didn't win one a few years later after Theo had left. 13. So like that's so from 4 to 13, that's 9 years. That's a lot of different players gone, come and gone. They rebuilt to that level, and we haven't had that here. So can the Cubs do that? Can the Blackhawks do that? Can the White Sox start that? I don't know. We're gonna find out. Out.
You know what you get though, and I hate to say this because we did it with the Bulls and the Blackhawks when you had to sit there. What was it, Laverne? What was the kid, the number 1 pick this year in the draft? And if you kicked out of the playoffs, it helped you out of the bubble in Canada. You got accelerated as far as getting the first pick. Guess what? And I'm not saying this to be facetious. Now you can get a generational player again because that's what you need. Like, it gets to the point, to be honest with you, it's the problem with the Bulls. And it's like, dude, if you're going to tank. Don't play tank. Because you need as many balls in there as possible, and these are sports that you need generational talents. Look, in football, you can get away with not having a generational talent in football if you have the right coach and the right schemes and the right management to just fill that team. And these other sports, man, really, when we talk about the winter sports, when we talk about hockey and when it talks about basketball, and hockey, if you got a goalie in the playoffs, you're going to do your thing. No, you need generational talents. And if you're not trying to get that, you're just selling us a bag of mush.
Hey, I had a question for you, and it's kind of off topic, but it's just because I was thinking about those old Bears teams and how, like I said, we didn't know what they were going to do. Lance Briggs was a third round draft pick. Was it? Am I wrong? He was third round.
It wasn't third. He was third or second.
Second, but
second or third. Okay. So I had the same feeling like I had when they drafted Jalen Johnson. I had the same feeling I had when they drafted Lance Briggs. I was like, ooh. I was like, he's a starter. I'm pretty sure it was a third, right? Yeah, third round.
Third round.
Okay. And I was like, I remember I was like, this guy is not a third round draft pick. I was just looking at the highlights, looking at the tape, looking at like everything that they talked about him, and then seeing him run and actually play, next to Brian and with that defense. I feel the same way with Jalen Johnson. Like, you knew. There was a little less room for error with Lance because of his position. He played linebacker. You're not expecting him to go ahead and drop back in coverage so much. But so Jalen's kind of on an island because he's a cornerback. So but I just the potential. I haven't felt that way about a player since I seen Lance Briggs.
Well, no, I did. Eddie Jackson. When the Bears got it, when they got Eddie Jackson, I was like, that's a steal. I'm like, this dude was a first round pick until he broke his leg.
I was nervous about the leg. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous about the leg. I was nervous.
I wasn't. Broken legs you can come back from. It's not a knee or an ankle. You know what I mean? Your knee, you worry sometimes. But even if it's, and I don't mean to sound very, very, very dismissive, but even if it is just an ACL, I mean, you see what people have done.
Yeah. Nowadays. Yeah. It was a compound. As long as it's not a compound fracture.
Yeah, like sticking out.
That's what you like. Gordon Hayward. If like, because that's when you a broken bone. Because like you said, Shawn, you can reset it. Now, if it's a compound fracture and you have to be an athlete, that's a problem. Like what you see with Dak. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be, and that's his ankle. So you don't even know how much blood he's going to be able to get back in there when he's healthy. But yeah, I'm with you, Shawn. Like that, the fact that if it's just all right, it's broken, but nothing is popping out. Chances are you're going to be fine. I felt the same way, Ivan, about Jalen Johnson, because I started reading up on him, and you start reading how everybody was raving about it. And in Utah, how serious he was and why he chose Utah, because he was going to start early, because he could have went to some other places. But I'll tell you this much. I didn't know the kid was going to be like that this early. And I don't care if he got torched this weekend or whatever. Dude, listen, I haven't watched enough of the Patriots this season, to be honest with you. But last year, I felt like they jumped ahead of the Bears. They clearly jumped ahead of the Bears secondary-wise. They had the best defense in the league. I think, man, it's a chance that the Bears may have the best secondary right now. Because I'll tell you what, I was like, man, Gibson sound like he'll fit. Man, these last 3 games, Gibson, he's been balling, right? He's been
and him getting torched, to me, and Shawn, I think you'd agree. Those are growing pains. Like those are going to be growing pains. Like and on top of that, you're going up against some of the best receivers in the league.
You're gonna get torched. Everybody.
They're targeting you. So the job that he's done has been exceptional in my eyes.
And you're right, but how many plays has he made? He caused Tayshaun Gibson's interception. Okay. He's had the what game was it? One of the games that went down to the end that he knocked the ball he knocked the ball away, a pass defended. So this guy is, even though he is getting hell, every cornerback gets torched.
Everybody, the best.
It happens. But the thing that I like, and I think you might agree with me, Ken, is his resiliency. Yes. He don't give a damn. He don't give a damn.
I'm back at it. I don't remember that. Let's go.
You don't give a damn. I don't give a what. And that's what he's saying, man. It's like, all right, you got me. Do it again. Because he's like, you're gonna get your plays. I'm gonna get mine. And I was right up there because he was the 3rd ranked cornerback in the draft.
Right.
The guy from Ohio
first rounder. Supposed to be a first rounder.
But his shoulder, the guy from Ohio State, the guy from Florida State, one of the Florida schools, was the number 2. Was the 2nd ranked cornerback after the Ohio State guy. And I'm like, wait a minute, okay. For us to get the 3rd ranked anything is good, is really good. Added to the defense that we already had. Yeah, dude, I was really looking forward to him. Like I said, I was looking forward to him like I was looking forward to Eddie Jackson, because and even Eddie, I didn't realize how awesome Eddie Jackson was going to be. Right. When he did him. And dude, we're only 6 games into the season, and look at all the good things that Jalen Johnson has done to this point. Wait till game 10. 12, 14, when he's settled in, when he's basically no longer a rookie, he's settled in, and people got tape on him, because now you don't just throw at him because he's a rookie. Now all he needs is a couple more picks. All right, get him. If he can get 3 to 5 picks, well, that's 5. 3 picks by the end of the season, or by week 13 and 14, then it'd be like, oh damn, who can we throw to?
Yeah, right, dude. The secondary is sweet. The secondary is the best, the strongest group. The secondary is, listen, we can't just knock Ryan Pace all the time. Secondary is sweet. One thing and just during this discussion has popped out of my head. One thing that they really need to do, and I know they got like a couple of them in this last draft. They need cheap pass rush. He needs to go in the draft in the middle rounds if we did, because I know later in the round they got a couple of guys. They need a cheap pass rush, because dude, if you throw one more thing in here with that secondary. Dude, this defense can be on a whole. I know it's on a level. It could be on a whole other level, because again, I didn't expect the secondary to be like that this season. It's getting to the point where it's kind of nasty in a
Are you talking about a one-trick pony? Like this is all he does?
Yeah,
like,
I'm talking about Mark Anderson is what I'm talking about. Mark Anderson. First year Mark Anderson. All right. Before he got to start. First year Mark Anderson. Yeah, like you just said, one trick, Shawn. You
don't stop the run. You don't look for the run.
Go.
There's a point that you hit the quarterback settle spot. That's your mark. That's your landmark.
You get one of those, because he's gonna be so cheap for so long. You get you one of those, man. Look, it can prolong the window of this defense right now, because one thing that's good about the secondary compared to like the Legion of Boom. And I know, listen, we know that Kyle Fuller is bringing that thunder, but these aren't guys that are selling their bodies all the time like the Legion of Boom was, because you knew basically their bodies were going to start breaking down on them like their bodies basically did. You know what I'm saying? So this secondary gives you a window. Now you have to start paying some guys. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it, Kyle Fuller's about to be up in a year. Maybe about a year, because he got a 4-year deal with Fangio. That deal with Fangio, he got a 4-year deal at least the year before. The year of or year before when Nagy took over this job. So that's about to come up. That's about to come up, I believe. So I'm just, again, I can't knock Ryan Pace all the time, because some things kind of similar to what John was saying about Stan Bowman. There are some good things that he's done draft-wise as far as going over some players. And look at Akeem Hicks. I mean, hopefully Mario Edwards, anybody from the Saints. All right, if you walk past the building, did you walk past the building? Did you serve Sean Payton some soup? Perhaps at Dookie Chase, like anybody.
Barkevious Mingo is he's on fire. I don't know if it's because he's playing, he's getting that rotation or what, but him along with, like you said, Edwards, who'd have thought going out and getting cast offs? I mean, the Niners pretty much did it. Niners did it last year, getting a bunch of cast offs and seeing if their potential could be reached next to pretty good pass rush with Akeem Hicks. You got Mack and Quinn. So I think they did. I think Ryan Pace has done a decent job, but it's just that first round, dude.
Hey, so we got till 23, the season of 2023. Okay. So we have 3 more seasons of Kyle Fuller. So
okay.
I think that, man, and now with Jalen Johnson, and imagine 2 years. So when it'll be the season before his last. Imagine 2 seasons from now, 21, 22, 22, and how good that he's going to be along with Kyle Fuller, along with Eddie Jackson.
That's what I'm saying. And Eddie Jackson signed up.
Come on, man.
Listen, you can, like we just said, if you get you a one-trick pony with that secondary,
sick him.
You can prolong that window. Yeah, they can prolong that window. I'll give Ryan Pace that. With a secondary, I don't know if he was a DB in his past life. But when it comes to the secondary, my man, he has an eye for it, to say the least.
Yeah, and you know what? To get a one-trick pony, like one of those guys who's like one of those motor guys.
Exactly.
High motor. You play with those guys.
Jared Allen, right?
Yeah, right? That's it. But I know this sounds stupid, but I want a big, black, and ugly. I want a dark as skin, dark as sin. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking midnight, maybe even purple. Come to get the core, just ripped to shreds. Like
you want him to be like
-7% body fat. You know what I'm saying?
What was you want him to be like? Webster. What's the name? Used to be the outside linebacker that went to the Washington football team for the Super Bowl Bears. Was a phenomenal athlete. What was the guy used to play outside low with Singletary? Was a freak of nature.
Wilbur Marshall?
Yeah, Wilbur Marshall. I was going to say Dex. I knew it was Marshall. I was going to Wilbur Marshall. You want like a Wilbur Marshall, basically. Yeah, you want like some guy to look like that.
However, I say see, that'll work. Someone like that to just, or someone just so freaking crazy and out there, and he salivates and that's all he wants to do is tackle a quarterback. Right. No run responsibilities, no nothing. I get around you every play and does it. And dude, that would be music to my ears. I would be so excited if he can pull that off in one of the late rounds. And it could be done, with a 1AA player, maybe a Division II player, with a guy who doesn't have that many snaps. You get 8-10 snaps a game, and you know what you got to do. That's all you got to do. A punter, you punt the ball. Kicker, you put the ball between the uprights. That's all you got to do.
Give me Shawn Rogers, though.
You go get that quarterback. That's your only job. You kickers kick the ball through the uprights. You sack the quarterback. That's it. Nothing else.
Nothing else. Don't worry about it.
I would say this. Other than one trick pony, I would say give me a Shawn Wright. Give me just a guy that's going to just clog a mass amount. He's going to have to take like 2 to 3 bodies just to cover him in the inside and just to take up space in the inside. I think that might help as well because you got pass rushers.
Well, we got Eddie Coleman coming back next year.
I was going to say you got Eddie back.
With a year of his body recovering and not being, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's good. And I may look for that in 2 years.
But you guys, you're right. But you guys are right. Like I think you just go draft pass rush. I want to see Tayshaun Gibson.
I like what he's done. I really like what he's done. He's done a lot more than I anticipated him doing. And a lot of times it's not. Yeah, he just had the interception the last game and it started. But he does more back there that people realize. That there's so many different times where he'll step up and he reads things and it doesn't show up in the stat sheet. Okay, but he'll stop a quarterback's read. So
I'm talking about Travis Gibson. Travis Gibson, the code at the end, the detail. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I knew you were talking about. Right.
That's what I'm talking about because he reminds me of that Mark Anderson, Kenneth.
That's what I was mentioning. And like I said, you took one in this draft. I can't remember his name, but when you said Gibson, I knew that you were referring to the guy.
I know it's not Travis.
Was it the fifth round? What I think it was.
It was. Yeah. It was.
I think it was the fifth round. Yeah, dude. Like if you do that, you can open this one. Then I know. Then I'm just going for Christmas shopping. I don't even want to talk about the offense. Like we're having a good conversation right now. It's just no reason to even go for the low. Right? It's just no reason whatsoever.
Yes, confirmed. It was the 5th round, 155th pick out of Tulsa.
Yeah. Like, dude, let's see what Shuddy can do. Like, if you do, I'm just telling you get a one-trick pony because let's be honest, to a certain degree, we kind of haven't necessarily got from Robert Quinn what we thought. Like, he's popping up, but we haven't kind of gotten that, And these last couple of games, Mack has showed up, but the last game was a cover sack. You know what I'm saying? But like because if in a way, if you got someone that is not as good as Khalil Mack, but he's threatening to out-sack him, basically. Then that guy starts to get double teamed occasionally. Now you're opening up everything. You know what I'm saying? And the point that I think we're trying to make too, you're not paying him a lot of money, right? Like that's the thing too. We're not talking about going out and signing Robert Quinn to a contract that he's not going to fulfill. And nobody's upset about that. Like, 2 years, right. We're cutting you in 2 years, right? Like you wouldn't even have to do that. You know what I'm saying? It would just, again, it would really open up this window. I don't know what the window is for. Because on the other side of the ball, you know what I'm saying, things are holding you necessarily back. But a window that looked like it was closing last season it has been prolonged and can definitely be prolonged with a little assist because you have this season the best secondary, but you could easily have the best secondary moving forward. Some years, some other team may pop up for the next 4 seasons. And if you can do that in this pass-happy NFL, you can really do a lot. And listen, you saw last year with New England, with the best defense, they didn't have a litany of pass rushers. They just had guys that can lock you down at the back end. And they had a coach that can out-scheme you. You know what I'm saying? So if you can do that in the pass-happy NFL, man, you can get away with a lot.
Can the Bears go deep in the playoffs or even get to the Super Bowl like they did in 06? Because the 06 they didn't have a good offense. It was a consistent one. They had an identity, but they weren't an explosive offense. No. They didn't have a great explosive offense. They just turned it around, handed it to Thomas Jones.
That's what I'm saying. Cedric Benson.
Before he whooshed out in the Super Bowl. I'm saying, and then and who are some of the receivers back then?
Bernard Berry,
Moose and Bernard
Davis.
Johnny Knox wasn't on the team yet, was he? Johnny Knox wasn't there yet, right?
Johnny Knox wasn't on the team yet.
Yeah.
Trying to think of who else I could.
You had you had the guy from the CF. You had the guy from the Arena Football League.
Rasheed Davis.
Yeah, Rasheed Davis. You said Rasheed Davis already? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Yeah, Rasheed Davis. Then went to Detroit. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, so I mean, they weren't star-studded. I think we have as much talent on that offense as we did with
You got more talent down this offense than you did with that talent. Because who was your tight end back then? You said
there's
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What's the name with the eyes?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a Des Howard and not Des Howard.
Yeah. Desmond Howard.
Yeah, Desmond.
Yeah, Desmond Howard. Yeah, you got better tight ends now. I think
No, Desmond Clark.
Clark, there you go.
Clark.
Clark.
You got better tight ends now. I think your top receiver is better than the top receiver was back then. Allen Robinson's better than Musa Muhammad, especially when it comes to the Bears. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't the Musa from Carolina that we got up here or whatever. Probably the thing that you had then, you had a better offensive line. Like that you know what, when we talk about that offense, the real thing was they had a good offensive line then. You know what I'm saying?
I believe
Well,
that
they went
year,
out.
I believe that year that offensive line started all 16 games.
And they went out and got John Tate and Fred Miller. You know what I mean? Like they went out and they built that offensive line. You know, like they weren't being. I want to say they've been cheap because they really haven't addressed. They haven't adjusted at all. Like even the backups. So the backups, it's like Shawn Coward's our backup. Like the project shouldn't be the guy second in line. The project should be all right. If all else fails, we have Rashawn.
I wish history would repeat itself. We go get buy ourselves a couple offensive linemen. I would like that. Because I think it's good, man. So, all right, we got to get out of here. We got to take a quick break. Hey, Ken, thank you for joining us, buddy. We kept you a little longer than anticipated.
I enjoyed it. I got home. I got remote learning I got to do, Sean. I got and the 9 to 5. So I got to check out. But I always appreciate it. I will see you guys on Friday.
All right, bet. Thanks, Kenneth.
No doubt. Anytime.
All right. So it's gonna be fun, man. This season with the rest of the season with the Bears, and I'm really liking it. When talking about Jalen Johnson, man, this kid he's you can tell when you see him play. There's just an aura. There's a confidence about him that's not fake. It's not phony. He's confident in his ability. He's confident that he belongs here. And I think that's one of the biggest things, because you can have all the talent in the world and you have to know, you have to feel and truly believe that you belong at this level or wherever level you're at, high school, college, or pro. He feels like, and he believes, and he knows in his heart of hearts that he belongs here. And that's why he's okay with getting burned, because it happens, because he knows he's going to make a play, because he knows he's going to make a pass breakup, because he knows he's going to get a pick, because he knows he's going to be there. And when he gets burned, it's not like he gets burned big time. Most of the time he's there. Like the last one, so Mike Evans, he just got beat on the from the line. And so now he's in a trail technique. And a trail technique on a goal line is never, ever good. So
well, he got
not on the goal line.
Yeah, no, not at the goal line. He got burnt once, I think, at Carolina too. But I mean, regardless of that, like, it's in his body language when he gets burnt. Right after he gets burnt, the play after he gets burnt, it's like nothing happened. He trusts himself. Mm-hmm. He's like, no matter what happens to me, he believes. Like, he believes in himself, and it's in his body language, in his play right after he gets beat, or right after a receiver catches a ball on him or something like that. He's not phased. He's not taking a step back. He's going right back at you 110%, and he's going to challenge you. And that's to me, that's all the makings of a lockdown corner. He wants to challenge you. He forgets about what happened. If you caught, okay, so what? You caught a 15-yard in because I was screened by the crossing receiver and the cornerback. Whatever. I'm going to go ahead and intercept this ball coming back. Like, that's the mentality we need, and that's the mentality of a shutdown corner.
Yeah, I agree. So watching him moving forward is going to be a great sight. Well, listen, we got to take our last break of the show, so don't go anywhere, folks. We have more football talk. The Big Ten. The Big Ten starts this weekend, and we are looking forward to it being here in the Midwest. So don't go anywhere, folks. College football talk coming up right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. Game 1 of the World Series went to the Dodgers, 8-3 the final over Tampa last night, leading 2-0 heading into the 5th. Tampa cut the lead in half with a solo homer. That came off the bat of center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. From there, though, the Dodgers broke it open with a 4-run bottom half of the 5th. Clayton Kershaw went 6 full, striking out 8, 1 run on 2 hits. Meanwhile, Tyler Glasnow gave up 6 runs on 3 hits over 4 1/3. He also struck out 8. Game 2 is is tonight. First pitch just after 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Blake Snell starts for Tampa, Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. There were a limited number of fans in attendance last night at Globe Life Ballpark in Arlington, Texas. The smallest World Series crowd in over a century. The announced attendance, 11,388. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at boomernaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330-95.9 The Zone.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5560 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5560. Enjoy.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. We just got off an extended segment with Kenneth Davis. We appreciate Big Ken for his time and stuff, man. Good stuff with Kenneth. But moving on, and you know what? The big ball season is starting this week, and I'll tell you what. I believe tomorrow is the first game. No, it's Friday. My bad. But I'm excited. You know, this is after the Big Ten and the Pac-12 decided they were not going to play fall football. I don't know if they succumbed to some peer pressure or what the situation was, but 3 of the Power 5 conferences did decide to play from the beginning, and that was the Big 12, that was the SEC, and that was the ACC. And after a couple of weeks, when there were no cases of corona, rumors, there started to be a lot of chatter. Like, see, it's working in other places. Why not here in the Midwest in the Big Ten? Why not California was a hot spot for a while. So the Pac-12, and then they also had the fires in California. They had the fires in the forest fires in Oregon. So just the air wasn't suitable to breathe. Nonetheless, play a football game in. But after rumblings and after, I guess, succumbing to peer pressure or realizing they felt it was safe for their players, the Big Ten is back this weekend, and there's a couple of games this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Friday night, all right, the Fighting Illini. Lovey and his boys head up to Wisconsin in the opening game, and I'll tell you what, that's going to be
no upset.
You got the upset, huh?
That's no upset.
Illinois over Wisconsin.
I'm gonna be a little homer. That's all, and plus because I like Lovey, and they're not bad. Like looking at them last year, they're not bad. Lovey's got them playing better. And it was his 6th season now. Mm-hmm. 4, 6. So I mean, he's got them playing better. He's finally got his guys. After what? Yeah, he probably came in. I think he came in with a decent group of guys, but then he kind of like stumbled on these past few years. But he's bounced back last year, so I think they're primed for an upset. Everybody's going to start out sluggish. They haven't played football, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to make the playing field a little more even.
More even.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Everyone is going to be sluggish due to the layoff. So we're going to see. So here's a chance for to sneak some wins out early. Illinois, they're going up against number 14 Wisconsin in Madison. There's a chance for them to sneak one out, and I'll tell you what, that would go a long way. That would be huge, a big feather in the cap of Lovie Smith and the Fighting Illini to get that victory on the road in Wisconsin and yes, Jonathan Taylor's gone from Wisconsin, but Wisconsin always has a stud offensive line, and they always have a stud running back behind that offensive line. So maybe we can catch them before that their stud develops and becomes that stud, but they're definitely gonna have a guy who's gonna take the reins now that John Taylor has left for the NFL. So another game that I'm looking forward to is the Northwestern game. I've always been a big fan of Northwestern, maybe because I love Fitz, and he came to recruit one of the kid who went to Iowa. Actually, the kid who went to Iowa, and then the year before him, the kid who ended up going to Wisconsin, my defensive end. He came to recruit those kids, and we got to talking and small world. So he went to Sandburg High School out in the southwest suburbs, the 127th, I want to say, in LaGrange, out that way. And we were talking, and you know what? His dad went to St. Rita. His dad's a Rita man. So I was like, okay. So I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Fitz, and so I want to see him. They're at home Saturday night against Maryland. Maryland comes to town, and that I really want to see that. I want to see them, especially now that they got that new facility. The new facility is the best facility in college football. We're talking all over the ACC, better than all the ACC schools, all the Big 12, all the SEC schools. This facility is amazing, and I really would like to get some stud athletes. Because Northwestern reminds me a lot of Holy Cross, not just the colors, the purple.
Right.
But we first of all, we're a very academic school. I didn't realize that most college classes are 3 credit hours. All of our classes at Holy Cross were 4. It's for the amount of work that you had to do. So I didn't know any better, and so, but while I was there, my first 3 years till the head coach bolted after my junior year, we had 2 losses and 1 tie. So we lost 2 games to Army my freshman and sophomore year, to a Division I school. So it's possible, but I would love to see them get a really good program, to see them really compete. And I know it's tough because you do have the Ohio States, you do have the Michigans, but with that facility, you can still go. And I think a lot of athletes have changed. It's not all of them, because you're still going to get just the football players, because you're going to get some kids who come from tough situations, and sports or football is going to be their only way out. Okay. But it doesn't mean that you can't go get those, 3.9 or 4.3, guys who have to take college credit class, student athletes out of high school who are, blue chip or 4 or 5 stars or blue chippers. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you can't go get those guys. There are a lot more of those guys now than there were before. And if Northwestern can do something like that and really start being a consistent, a perennial contender in the West, man, I would love it. I would really, 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 really love it.
And it's so close, and Evanston's fun. And if the Wildcats start winning, Evanston will be even more fun, and Chicago will be even more fun. Just the distance from the city, I think that makes it even more special if they were to build a program. You know what I mean? Because then you also got to think about, like you said, he came down to recruit the city.
Yeah.
Then you recruit the city. Now you got a powerhouse football team pretty much right next to the city.
Adjacent, yeah, they're adjacent.
The city, and now you have players coming up, seeing that. Look, hey man, I want to go to Northwestern. I want to show. I mean, granted, you have to have the grades. You have to have the grades to go to Northwestern. But if you could reach those goals, why not? And it's right. It's right next to your hometown. You can recruit Chicago players. You never know.
Yeah, they do, and they do recruit Chicago, and the biggest obstacle is the grades. But there's another good game week 1 that I think it should be noted, and that's Nebraska at Ohio State. Remember, Nebraska was one of the biggest proponents of wanting to play. They were thinking about even going rogue and making up their own schedule. But they're at Ohio State, number 5 in the country, and this could be a really, really big game if Ohio State is unable to get past Nebraska. Nebraska always has a good offense, good offensive line. But I think Ohio there's a chance for Ohio State because the game's on Fox, so that'll be a nationally broadcast game, and I think Ohio State can really make their claim as one of the top teams in the country. After having been out for a while. So, there you go from Joshua Davison. We'd love to see Northwestern step up. There's a talent pool they are missing out on in Chicago.
I mean, they recruit Chicago, like Shawn says. I think it's more or less that they're so small that if you had a choice to get out of Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Well, you did get out of Chicago, Shawn. So if you're an athlete, a young athlete in Chicago, and you got a choice between Northwestern staying close to home, a smaller school, it's in the Big Ten, but it's a smaller Big Ten school, and a school like Ohio State or a Michigan, I'm gonna go to Ohio State or Michigan because one, they got a better program, and two, it's outside of the city. Now, if you could build a culture of winning, you're gonna keep a lot more players. You know what I'm saying? In state, and you're going to bring players from out of state. So I think they're on the right site with their building this facility. It's just after that comes recruiting.
Yeah, well, part of it is I know what you said. You said you would go to Michigan, but would you? Because Notre Dame, but even so, like what happens is the depth chart is so different at those schools. You go to Ohio State, you go to Michigan, you go to Notre Dame. You're looking at possibly a four-star player, players three rows deep on a depth chart.
Well, if you
go to Ohio,
I'm sorry, but if you keep those guys here, Shawn, you know what I mean. If you're able to, because that's what those big schools do. They pluck the four-star guys from here, the guys that could probably be you could probably put together a great team with if they sit at a small school. Those guys get plucked from those big schools and end up on the bench for 3 years.
But that was my point. Is that because you said you would go to Notre Dame, like, well, would athletes, kids nowadays, we're in a state of instant gratification. They want to play now, or they want to play as soon as possible. So if I'm a four-star, I want to go to Michigan, but they got a 5-star and 2 4-stars in front of me.
Right.
So now I got to compete with guys. One, they're older. 2, they've been in the system longer. 3, they're just as talented as me coming out of high school, if not more talented. Let me go to a school that might not have that much competition, and I can stay closer to home. I can deal with, and I'm still going to get to play the Michigans, the Ohio States, the Michigan States, the Iowas. I still get to play all these teams, and now I can still make a name for myself and get to the league. So, some player, again, with the fact that kids want to play sooner, I think it's a great spot. And what they really, really need is they need to get a top-notch quarterback, and they thought they were getting that guy in who was the guy from Clemson? He played there last year. They thought they were getting. He was one of the top high school quarterbacks in the country coming out, but he went down to Clemson, just like what we talked about. He went down there because he was a stud, and they got some guy named Deshaun something or other, Deshaun Watson.
Oh, he got drafted. I
Lawrence.
think he got drafted in the NFL. I'm not. Yeah, that guy.
So you're dealing with talent like that. Maybe now if you I guarantee if you asked him, would you? Aside winning the national championship, because of course who doesn't want to do that? But as far as playing time, you ask them, hey, would you rather have gone somewhere else and made a difference and got more playing time?
Right.
Most guys, especially blue chippers or 4 or 5-star recruits, they'll say, yeah, I wish I would have gone to a smaller school or a different school.
I think it comes down to winning. You're going to get that big quarterback because like you said, Shawn. I think it only takes one, and if it's got to be the quarterback position for Northwestern, then let it be the quarterback position for Northwestern. But it only takes one major recruit to kind of turn the tides. Once you start winning, once you build that culture of winning, the players will come. Like you'll get the recruits. You'll start to get the recruits, but like how this conversation started with the facility, I think it starts with stuff like that. I think it starts with that and persistence from a guy like Coach Fitzgerald to get that to finally get to that point of being a winning program consistently and throughout.
Fitz is the dude. He's real. He's not a bull driver. Like I said, I've in meeting and talking with him. multiple times in the office. He's a straight shooter, and I think the kids love that about him. And as we said, I think his biggest thing is just get that quarterback, and I think I believe he thought he had it. Who's their quarterback last year? The kid from, like I said, I'll try and find it. They thought it was a dude. They thought it was a dude, and he just didn't really turn out to be what they thought. And I'm here. I'm pulling it up right now. Oh, that's the wrong one. But yeah, let's see if we can get. I wanted to get that. Try and get that a quarterback. But if they can get that dude, that's it. I think that's the.
This is the roster as of. This is from ESPN. Is it T.J. Green, Hunter Johnson, Zach Krause?
Hunter Johnson.
Hunter Johnson
Was the dude. Hunter Johnson is that dude. Is he still there this year?
That's what it said. It says I think
Richard Jr. Armando said Green. Yeah, I thought it was Hunter Johnson was the transfer in. I'm almost positive.
Hunter Johnson from Brownsburg, Indiana.
Yeah.
Well, one of them better be playing out of their shoes. That's what I know. One of them better be playing up to par because like we said, it takes one guy to turn it around. But I think the team itself has to be good. But I think the team is always decent, especially that defense. The defense is always good. They're sending out and not necessarily big names, but they're putting guys in the league consistently.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
so
they are.
They got a defense. They just got to find that guy that. And I've seen skill players, Shawn. You know what I'm talking about. We've seen skill players that are decent that go through Northwestern, but never the quarterback. It's never the quarterback. And I think that you're right. It's if they find a guy that that can light it up, Northwestern will be in the national scene again.
Yeah, here it is, Hunter Johnson. Look at that, Clemson from 2017 to 2018.
Okay.
And then he transferred over. So this guy is, I would assume this guy's going to be the starter. And if he is, you definitely have one of the top quarterbacks in the country who came out of high school. So this could be the turning point. And with a short season, this really could be, like we talked about with the White Sox and the Cubs. Like there's really even the Astros, right, getting to where they got because of. It was a short season, and anything can happen. Anything can happen in this Big Ten season. With 7 games, 8 games, something like that. They make enough noise. I'm interested to see how they get ranked. Because you're playing in a Big Ten, and you're beating if you beat some of the top teams, what do you do? Where do you put them? They're not a big name. They're not a perennial powerhouse, but who do they have? They got Maryland, at Iowa, Nebraska. So Nebraska's a tough school. Maryland's still a tough school. Iowa's a tough place to play. Purdue, they're home against Wisconsin. That's going to be good. They're at Michigan State. That's going to be a tough one. At Minnesota, home against Illinois. So they missed the big. Well, they got Michigan State, but that they can, if Hunter Johnson can come in and be that quarterback that he was coming out of high school. 7-1, 6-2, something like that.
I mean, it's the schedule is tough. 7, 8. Like I said, it all depends on if the guy's if he's who they think he is. It's. I think they've heard it all before. They thought a few other guys were going to be the guy, But if this guy's talented enough, if he could do it, awesome. Because I want to see Northwestern succeed. But like I said, until you show me on the football field, I'm always going to think of Northwestern as that Mighty Mouse team. Like they come with a little pop, but then they just kind of fizzle at the end.
Well, we'll see, and I hope it does. I hope it does. It was fun back in the day when they went to the Rose Bowl with
Fitz and Autry.
Darnell Autry. Yeah, and that was great. That was great. So we'll see. And then they go to Orange Bowl. They went to another.
Yeah, they went to not the Orange Bowl. They went to.
I want to say they went to the Rose Bowl again. There we go. Yeah, they went to. Let's see. I know they went to the '96 Rose Bowl. That was with those guys. With Damian Anderson was a running back. That's what it was. Damian Anderson was a running back. No, the Gator Bowl, Tiki, Alamo, the Sun. Yeah, no, they haven't gone back. The Citrus, the Alamo, the Motor, Sun Bowl, Alamo, Outback, Meineke Car Care Bowl of Texas, Pickett City, the Gator Bowl. Okay, back in 20.
I'm glad they won that one. I'm glad they won that one, baby.
The Meineke Car Care Bowl.
The Griswold Family Vacation Bowl. What the hell is going on, dude?
They get their brakes and struts fixed for free. That's part of the program. You know, part of the package. In a bag of swag that they got, we got a coupon for lifetime brakes, rotors, and struts.
The O'Reilly Bowl,
Outback Bowl, Pinstripe Bowl, Music City Bowl, the Holiday Bowl.
Oh man,
so
that's not good. I mean, they've won a few, but I need a well-named bowl. Like I need a bowl that I can recognize.
But yeah, so a couple other. The rest of the games in the Big Ten this week, we said Illinois at Wisconsin, Rutgers at Michigan State. I think Michigan State should be able to handle that.
I think everybody on that Rutgers schedule should be able to handle that.
Yeah. What else we got here? No, Iowa Purdue. That's gonna be a nice game. Iowa Purdue. That's gonna be a nice game. Of I'd say mid-tier teams. I don't think Iowa Purdue are at the elite of the Big Ten, but I think that's a good game for like the second level. You got Penn State Iowa as well, Penn State Indiana, as well. Michigan at Minnesota. So some decent games this opening week. So it's going to be pretty. That'll be pretty dope. Pretty dope. But it's good. It's glad to get football back in the Midwest, and it's it'll be fun. You know, it'll be fun. What games on Saturday? What's the earliest? Yeah, so let's see. Michigan State, Rutgers at noon. Ohio State, Nebraska at noon. All right, good. So we're starting early. I like that.
I think the Irish are at 2:30.
They're not in the Big Ten.
My bad. I didn't. Anyway, the Irish are at 2:30.
Are you a big Notre Dame fan?
Oh, dude, I love Notre Dame. Like I will root for the in-state teams, the Northwesterns, the Illinois. But Notre Dame, I mean, it was like Notre Dame. Notre Dame. We're watching Notre Dame. Like that's what we did.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that about you. I didn't know you're a big ND guy.
I like the Irish. Love the Irish. I mean, it's what you kind of watched. Like that's what I watched. I mean, I was an obsessive football fan when I was a kid. It was just like, leave me the hell alone, give me some food, and then let me just watch the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was similar to that. And this was back when ESPN only had two stations. I'd watch it on NBC, or CBS, ABC. Since I was the only one in the house with cable back my senior year of high school, I would watch it on ESPN, ESPN2 on Saturday. When I got home from my game, because usually we played on Saturdays. We didn't play when I was in high school. We didn't play Fridays like everybody does now. Friday Night Lights. Most of our games were on Saturday, and then for whatever reason, Loyola University, most of Loyola High School usually had their games on Sunday. So my last game of my senior season, we played on a Sunday, and then that was also we were still played back when the first game of the IHSA playoffs were on a Wednesday. So those of you who are old enough to remember, so dude, we literally had 3 football games in 7 days. We played on Sunday, we played Loyola, and then on Wednesday we played St. Pat's, and then on Saturday we played, I don't know if it was Evanston or if it was Gordon Tech, but we had three football game days. That was insane.
That sounds like fun though. Like me thinking as a teenager, I'd be like, man, that sounds like having like 2 days I can hit somebody again, like hit somebody for real again, because you can hit in practice, but you don't want to kill your teammate.
Yeah, no, not at that point. At that point, it was all film work. It was classroom and walkthroughs on Monday. Recovery, get your butt in the.
So you guys even put on maybe walkthroughs, right? You said walkthroughs.
It was all walkthroughs, helmets. On Monday it was helmets that we had to recover for Wednesday. And Wednesday, I'll tell you what, that was the most physical game I think I had ever played till I got to high school, until to college. The St. Pat's, and one of the guys that I taught with at Curie was at St. Pat's. He didn't play, but he was in the stands that game. Mm-hmm. And I just got named the Catholic League Player of the Year right after the season on that Monday. And we played St. Pat's on that Wednesday. Dude, they beat my ass. I mean, you talk about straight up physical, old school football. Like I've literally, like I never missed school. I felt like missing school that day. My mom's like, if you want to take off, she goes, all right. She goes, I'll write you a letter. I was like, what are you going to tell them? I got beat up by 11 guys. She said,
he got jumped on the football field
by 11 guys. That was the most pain I had ever felt after a game in a long. I mean, I started playing regularly in college. It was insane. They were some hard hitters up at St. Pat's, dude. And then we played again on Saturday. I want to say I don't know if it was Evanston or Gordon Tech then Evanston, because those are the two teams that we played after. Yeah, it was insane. So, that was the day, dude. Those were the days. Play Wednesday football, the first round's on the next weekend. So, anyway, hey, listen, that was 3 hours has come and gone, dude. Unbelievable.
That was fun.
I want to thank Joseph Phillips from the Chicago Crusader, who joins us every show in our top of the morning segment. I want to thank Kenneth Davis for staying with us today a little longer. I want to thank John Dietz from the Daily Herald for calling in and talking a little Blackhawks hockey. I want to thank our executive, our technical producer, Elliot Baez. I want to thank our social media guy, Clarence Council. I want to thank my man. You see him split screen with me. He is the guy who makes it all run. My Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife, Ivan Vargas. Guys, you made it a great show. Thank you very much. And I look forward to Friday. Friday, we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to reach out to some Big Ten people, talk to them. We're going to definitely have to talk a little World Series. Definitely got to talk Bears. A whole bunch, man. And by the way, guys, check me out tonight. I'm going to be on Keeping It 100 on the Tape Never Lies network with Phil Atoshin. So check it out. The Tape Never Lies tonight. I'll be on at 6. Thanks. I got to double check. He tagged me on it. Yeah, I'll tell you the wrong time, and you're like, we were there, but you weren't on. Where's now? I can't even see what time it is. He tagged me on it. I'll have to see what time we're on. It's on the Tape Never Lies network, so it'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook Live. Huh?
And on the YouTube, it says 7 hours. So you have 7 hours, Shawn.
Oh, it's 7 o'clock. Yeah. It's right. He says 6:30. Okay. 7 o'clock. I'll be on the Tape Never Lies network. It'll be Keeping It 100 with Phil and Shane. And there you go. Yeah, there it is. Yep. So I'll be on there, and we'll keep it real, man. Me and Phil, me and Phil hit it off. Want to hear something really, 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 really funny? So Phil's called me the other day. Yesterday, what's today? Wednesday? I call him Monday. Mm-hmm. So he's a draft doctor, Phil. He calls himself. And so he picks up. He's like, yo, what's up? I'm like, what's up, Doc? I was like, what's up, Doc? Can we rock? What's up, Doc? Can we rock? What's that? And if you guys don't know, again, you're too young, but that's a rap song from Fushnikins with Shaquille O'Neal. The Shaquille O'Neal was in. And he's like, dude, he goes, that's insane. I was like, why? He goes, I'm just downloading the instrumental to What's Up, Doc.
Oh man, that's.
Dude, I was like, what? He's like, I'm telling you,
best friends.
I think we did. I think we have man crushes on each other, dude. He was like, he goes, my wife believes in all that. He goes, I believe in it too, man. He goes, I can't believe you started singing What's Up, and I'm literally downloading the instrumental version for the show. He goes, that's insane. I was like, dude, that's nuts. So yeah, we definitely get a good vibe, and it's gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it real like they want me to keep it real. So keep it in 100 tonight on the Tape Never Lies Network. You're gonna have to check it out.
I'm gonna be watching it. Make sure you guys watch that.
All right, great stuff. Well, listen, we gotta go. We gotta run. So I want to thank all those people. I want to thank my co-host and Essential Maya Kai. Thank our guests again, John Dietz, and then the usual suspects, Joseph and Kenneth, and then my man. So for my man who's here, the Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife himself, Ivan Vargas.
And make sure you guys check Shawn and Phil out on Keeping It 100 tonight. Don't forget.
I'm your boy, the Superback Shawn Sierra. So you're going to see me in about 7 hours, but you'll see me back on this show after a 45-hour break. So in other words, remember, download the app, SportsZone Chicago, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Besides that, we out.